Monday is the day that I do the stream. It's very early, so I know a lot of people are going to be like, why would you bother doing a stream so early on Monday? Because it's not like you're going to get any viewers or anything. And to that, I say, yeah, you're right, 100%. But that's really not what's the most important thing here. What's the most important thing is that we have a little fun, we make a little video, and then people can watch it later at their own, timing while they're driving their car or whatever around and that's cool, I mean that's kind of what I'm hoping, you know. So even if this thing only gets like 6 viewers total, over time, I'm sure it'll get more viewers. Even if it don't, I mean, like I said, I make these videos mostly for me anyway. So uh, now, don't get twisted. I'd love if I was doing big numbers and everything like that, but it's not really why I started. So I'm not honestly to put out that it doesn't happen. Now, sometimes it does. Like when I used to stream at nights, I mean, there would be times when I would have uh, what I thought, in my opinion, was a lot of people online listening and stuff. But uh, you know, when you do a stream at literally, just after noon or whatever on a Labor Day, you can't expect to get, you know, tons of people being like, "Oh man, I need to go get involved with that." You know, it's just the way it is. So I am just doing some crafting today, and hoping that I can fix this. Let's see. Unused printer stuff. What? Did I tell my printer to print some stuff and it didn't print it? And now it's telling me, hey, there's some printer stuff. The last thing I told the printer to print was a bunch of Marvel character sheets. Look at me. That's right. GQ, baby. GQ. Uh, yeah, so I had the printer print up a bunch of Marvel character sheets so people could make characters. So far, we've got a couple made. We've got the guy who's playing the Indian version of Logan, and we've got the Florida man. And then, my wife is still trying to make up her mind what she wants to do. All right, let's see. Let's look here. Yo, Leth, what's up? How you doing, Leth? What's going on over there in swampy Kentucky? Huh? You out there catching some bullfrogs? Yeah, probably not. Since you're sending messages on the computer, probably not conducive to catching frogs. I know one thing we used to do is whenever it would rain, we'd always run out with buckets and try to get as many uh, night crawlers as we could. What's up, left?
Uh, Kids went to a little parade this morning.
Oh, so you're home alone?
No, they're back. It's not that long.
Well, damn, how am I supposed to know, man?
Riley, my niece, she went and got tons of candy. She brought a big like a pretty sized backpack for her at least.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I remember going to those and never getting that much. We get a little
Yeah.
bucket or basket or something.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. Cool. So what you up to?
Me, not much.
Hey.
Just bored.
Why are you bored? If you're bored, you're boring.
Yeah, I'm boring.
So you're boring.
Yes.
That's unfortunate.
Don't worry, I'll have some work soon.
Been around the world and found that only stupid people are breeding. What's up, William Silva? How you doing? Happy Labor Day. All
Happy
you,
Labor Day.
all you commie sons of bitches. Actually, I take that back. Anywho, um,
My nephew, he seems to be happy that he got like a little American flag that he can wave around.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watch these people who are like in Europe and they comment on like stuff we do in America. And I don't know where these guys are. I think Portugal or whatever. And they are constantly amazed at how common it is in America to see American flags. Like, like when they visited America and they're just like, there's flags everywhere. And I mean, they like it, they think it's cool, but apparently in Portugal, they don't really do that so much. So it's like kind of weird and confusing to them.
Yeah. Weird.
They're like, these Americans, man, they sure do love their flag. We're like, well, yeah, we actually do.
I bet it's similar in Brazil.
Well, I mean.
I don't know. It seems to me like that. I mean, even their bikinis have Brazilian flags on it.
Well, I mean, one, Brazil's kind of got a cool flag.
Yeah.
You gotta give them that. It's a cool flag. And I mean, I bet you those ladies probably look pretty good in Brazilian flag bikini.
Yeah.
I mean, just remember if you ever go to Brazil and you hook up with a hottie, you want to double check her first.
I don't plan on it.
She might have some extra stuff there for you.
I'm not planning on hooking up with some Brazilian chick or dude in that situation.
Yeah. This is like if you go to Thailand, any woman you meet that's over 5'4" is a man. But the good news is in Thailand, they tell you, waiting for work. Did you hear Wizards is trying to bring back Dark Sun? Oh, God.
It's going to be trash. I mean, Wizards.
William Silva, I don't even know how it's possible. And I'm not even a Dark Suns fan. Like I owned it because like a lot of people back in the day, I owned all, like every time TSR put out a setting or something, I bought it, right? But yeah, I don't know how because they're so worried about shit like slavery and torture and all this crazy kind of shit and no half races. So it's like, okay, so how are you going to do Dark Sun? I mean, the mules are a half race. Slavery is the common thing of the day. That's like that's just my soul just being like, ugh, it's like I don't see how I mean anything they release for Dark Suns with their if they use their new sensibilities is going to be trash, absolute trash. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just it can't not be, you know? Right. I mean, and that's the thing is in Dark Sun, psychic abilities were very common, right? That was kind of the thing, right? But I mean, so can you imagine modern day TSR trying to do a setting where there's cannibalistic halflings and shady ass elves run around the desert and half dwarf, half whatevers, and half giants, and you know, chances are your character is going to start out as slaves to you know, one of the freaking sorcerer kings. I guess unless you want your characters to all be evil, and then you can be Templars, but still. Yeah, I just don't see how that could work. And and I'm not going to buy it anyway. So you know, it's a big whatever for me. You know, it's like, yeah, I'm not going to buy it anyway. So I'm not even going to care because I have no faith in Wizards of the Coast's ability to do anything.
Nor do I have the need to buy any of their games anymore.
Right. Now, the 4E version wasn't bad, but 4E, and I brought this up when I was talking to other people, 4E was the D&D version where they had James Wyatt doing the majority of the writing and everything. And James Wyatt is an amazing writer. So, you know, but for whatever reason, after 4E, they moved Wyatt over to the Magic the Gathering side of the house. And he spends all of his time concocting the stories behind magic sets and shit like that, right? Which good for him. I mean, you know, because it's not like they're going to lay magic people off because magic is still, you know,
Popular.
booming like crazy, right? But yeah, a lot of the best stuff about 4E was James Wyatt writing. Um, like the book on the Hells and everything like that. That was all James Wyatt. The guy, and I mean, I'm not trying to fanboy or be a dick writer, but he's just good. He's a good writer. His, you know, and Mike Merles did the Nintyre Valley setting, but we never got to see it because they just kind of took it away, you know? They never really showed us what it was, which is unfortunate. Nintyre Valley could have been a great setting. I mean, just based on what we did get to see of it, which again wasn't very much, but yeah, so it's a damn shame. And now, I mean, Wizards of the Coast, they literally have like no one of note working there. And they're trying to sell books on how to knit things and cookbooks and shit. It's like, boy, you guys have effed up. I mean, that is literally all I can say. When your model, your business model is trying to sell knitting books and cookbooks, but you're a game company, you have messed up somewhere really bad, you know?
Really badly.
Yeah. And their whole bullshit, I foresee a time when people will be wearing D&D shirts the way you see people wearing Harley shirts. And it's like, there's a little bit of a difference between being a game nerd and wearing a, you know, D&D shirt. and being a, you know, I don't know, a redneck or a biker or something and wearing a Harley shirt. I mean, that's just not the same thing, you know? But that, you know, it's the exact same thing we just saw with Cracker Barrel. It's like, dear companies, whoever you are, do not put women in charge of anything really, because they will kill whatever it is. I mean, if you put them in charge of marketing, they will piss off every one of your customers. If you put them in charge of, actually, it's just marketing. It's just marketing. But I mean, you can't even blame what's her name, the Williams woman. You can't even blame her entirely, because she had the other idiot that was, you know, going around talking about how, you know, the age of the white man is over. That's not what D&D is like now. It's like, yeah, except 90% of the people playing the game are white guys. So, you know, get bent, you son of a bitch. You know, like, what's wrong with you? And what's wrong with the fact that a lot of the people playing your game are white guys? I mean, do you have some kind of weird hatred against white guys? You know, are you embarrassed that you created a game that appeals to mostly nerdy white guys? Is that what's going on? I mean, well, they didn't create a game. Those guys couldn't create anything, you know. But see, that's a little bit of a rant. But yeah, I think it's a true rant, though. It's like whoever their customer base is, they don't seem to know, right? And while I know minorities do play D&D, I have one at my table every week. So yes, I know for a fact that there are Puerto Ricans out there that play D&D. I've played D&D with said Puerto Ricans. They do exist. But out of the 8 to 10 people at my table, that's one guy. That's one guy. That's it, you know? And when I used to play 40K hardcore and I'd go Saturdays to the tournament, two of my bros, I won't name them, but the two brothers, if they ever hear this, they'll know I'm talking about them. Yeah, they were like, if 50 people showed up, 3 of them would be minority people, you know? And the thing is there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that, you know, different cultures have different shit they'd rather do. You know, maybe they'd rather be out barbecuing with their family. That's one thing I've always been kind of envious about the Hispanics about, is you drive by the parks down here and they are packed with Spanish families, like music going, the grills going, you know, 100 kids run around like maniacs. It's like, and I look at that and I think, damn, that looks pretty fun, you know? Like, I wish my family did that. But see, my wife's family, they do act like that, and I love it. You know, when I get invited to the big family thing. But my family, man, we can live within a mile of each other and never speak for 5 years. No, that's
I know
true.
how that feels, man.
We have a nephew that lives. I have 2 nephews that live within a mile of my front door. I see them maybe once a year.
Some things I wish I did. Like one time I lived really close to my cousin. I wish I went and visited him more.
Yeah, the Vampire Survivors board game looks pretty good. I just wish the miniatures were better. I don't like that some of the miniatures are busts. I would rather have 25 mil figures, but you know, that's probably an easy fix. So
Yeah, you can probably just print out one.
Yeah, you probably just buy I mean, what does a vampire even look like? You know what I mean? Let's be honest. What's a vampire look like? Like my
Like-
character just looked like basically me, except shaved, hair shaved, and sunglasses. But, you know, because my character's background was he was a Russian noble in 1916, and shit didn't work out well for him when the commies took over. And in the, I don't know if they do it in the new vampire setting, but in the old vampire setting, the whole communist thing in Russia was basically Nosferatu and Bruja plotted together to do that. Well, one Nosferatu.
Vampires look like Christopher Lee. That's what they look like.
Yeah, Christopher Lee. Or Peter Cushing. But mostly Christopher Lee. Yeah, in the actual vampire setting, at least the old one, Baba Yaga, who is like a really, really old Nosferatu, and a bunch of freaking Bruja all got together and decided to have a communist revolution and, you know, drive out the Ventrue that had been there and the old clan Simichi or Zimichi or however. And,
Clan Carl.
yeah, Clan Carl or Clan Timmy, we used to call him. Now in D&D 5e, if you get the Bloodlines book, you can actually play a member of Clan Carl. And they're pretty good because in the old days, they sucked, right? Because all of their disciplines kind of sucked if you were playing old clan. Because you didn't get vicissitude. So what did you get? You got like animalism, auspics, and some other discipline that sucks. You know what I mean? The new
Doesn't
ones
sound fun.
Yeah, the new ones get animalism, auspics, and protean. So they can like turn into wolves and fucking pop claws and do all the shit. So like in the old days, the only clan that got protean was Gangrel. But in 5e, old school Simichi get it too. Which, believe me, the guy at my table that's been playing Gangrel for like, 20 years was not super impressed. Actually, longer than 20 years. Yeah, he wasn't real happy about it because he felt like only his clan should ever get protean. And I'm like, well, sorry about your luck, bro, but it turns out the old guys from Europe got it too now. And to me, it makes sense because if Clan Timmy is supposed to be based on like Dracula, well, then Dracula could turn into a wolf and a bat and mist and all that shit.
Yeah.
The version I would suggest the new GM to buy and run would be 5e. Now, I used to have a lot of videos on my channel where I talked mad shit about 5e, kind of like I did Dune, until I actually played the game and grew to understand what was going on with the game. And now I've completely flipped on that.
Yeah, I think we play like well, when I played, we played like a 5e version of it.
Yeah, the 5e vampire.
Oh wait, no, it wasn't 5e. I remember now. It was like, what was it? The second edition.
Right. We were playing second, and then I figured out. Actually, I got to give a little bit of props to Black Lodge. I actually learned what 5e was trying to do. Because at first I was like, this game is, I don't like that you got to roll your die pool and you're looking for like symbols or numbers or whatever. I really didn't like that. So I had an issue with that, right? But then I actually read the rules and understood why the mechanics were the way they were. And again, Black Lodge helped. And as soon as that happened, I realized that the 5th edition vampire was maybe the best edition. And which some people might be like, that's wild, and I'll tell you why. Because in 5e, every time you use a discipline, you have to do a test called a rouse test. And if you succeed at your rouse test, then you can do the discipline and it doesn't cost any blood, which you don't even have blood pool. You just have hunger. And so if you succeed at the ability, you don't get more hungry. You stay wherever you were and you do your little ability, whatever it is. But if you F up at the roll, you get hunger. And the hunger die is what actually makes the game good. Because the hungrier you get, the more likely your vampire is to lose their shit and just go buck wild on something. And that, I think, reflects the inner turmoil of a vampire. You know what I mean? So, yep. Plus they kind of made some of the disciplines better. Like potence, instead of having just like potence 1, potence 2, potence 3, potence 4. Every level of potence has a number of disciplines you can choose between. And let's say you get potence 2, but you want to have the second potence 1 power, you can do that. And they do different things, right? And then on top of that, there's some disciplines that don't even cost rouse checks. You can just do it. I mean, they're not super great, but you can do it. I think Auspex is like that, where you can just now, I'm not so sure how I feel about the werewolf game in 5e, because they neuter the shit out of the werewolves in 5e. They really do. Like, it costs so much willpower and everything to go into your combat form that you're probably rarely, if ever, going to go into your combat.
I get the reason, but yeah, that would suck for a werewolf game.
Right. I mean, you play werewolf because you want to turn into a big werewolf and run around ripping shit up, right? And that really makes that the hardest thing on the planet to do, actually, is turn into a werewolf and run around ripping shit up. So that's kind of suck.
It has that dilemma where you don't want it to be the only, only option, but it basically becomes that because it's one so easy.
Well, you're a werewolf. What are you going to do if you run into like a Pentex Fomori? What, you're going to try to fight that guy in your human form when he turns into a big tentacle monster? Not a good idea. I mean, you can, but I mean, it's probably not going to go the way you want. Oh, pre-5e rules, I'd go with the classic. 2nd edition, probably.
It's what we played.
For werewolf, I'd go with just 2nd. Call it a day. And 2nd's just 1st with some shit neatened up so that people could understand what they were doing.
In most cases, I think. I think sometimes it was like major balance issues that they had to fix.
Yeah, it's like the 1st edition of Vampire didn't even have rules in it for how combat worked. So people were like, neuter. Ha, I see what you did there, right? But for Vampire, I definitely 100% say 5e. And for the reason I gave, that it captures the actual issue. Like, if you're playing the vampire, you have to worry about your hunger all the time. And if you let your hunger build up, it can get away from you. And then the next thing you know, you're running down the center of I-4, ripping people out of cars and eating them. Not a good thing. A very bad thing. So, that's the thing with 5e. Whereas, unfortunately, with other versions of Vampire, second edition, etc., your vampires are basically just superheroes. You know, especially if you're playing an older generation vampire, like ninth or eighth or whatever, and you've got 13 blood pool. And it's like, okay, I'm going to power up fleetness. I now move faster than the human eye can see. And the DM says, okay, what you got to do that? And they're like, spend one blood point.
Spend one blood
Oh, well,
point.
okay.
Like, oh, okay, yeah.
So you can do that 13 freaking times with no penalty whatsoever to worry about. Cool. Whereas in 5e, let's say you only have a hunger of 1 because you always start with a hunger of 1 unless you actually killed a victim. That's the only way to actually get your hunger to being, below 1. You have to kill the victim you feed on.
And then you're losing humanity.
And then you've got to worry about humanity. So again, that's the whole point of the system. You have to worry about these sort of things because, like I keep saying, if your hunger gets away from you, then you can literally lose control of your character.
Yeah.
Meals on Wheels. Yeah, see, I say that because that happened to my character in a game. I was chasing these 2 guys who I thought might have been affiliated with the Inquisition, and they were trying to get away. So I powered up a free ability, which is like a low-level celerity ability. And all it does is allows me to catch up with somebody within so many feet. So I kind of just, zipped up next to them, right? And when they turned around, I noticed they both were wearing these necklaces. So I went to grab the necklace off of one of their necks, rolled the die, and crit freaking. I succeeded, but the hunger die came up, skulls, which meant instead of grabbing the thing off the guy's neck, I grabbed him and ripped his throat out, which sucked. The other guy started screaming, so then I had to throw the first guy into the bushes and grab the second guy, at which point I just drained him to death. So I got all my hunger back, plus I lost the 1 point you always have. So for the rest of that evening, I had a hunger of 0, which is awesome.
Yeah, William, that would still have your issue of
yeah. Not only the issue of humanity, but I was standing on the side of I-4 in Orlando.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
so a bigger
issue
is the issue of someone driving by seeing what happened.
Hey, no,
you can't eat criminals. You can't justify it like that. If you take a human life, you have to deal with the humanity thing. It don't matter what they are. Like when we were still playing, I freaking snapped the neck off of a meth head and drunk his blood, and I had to take a humanity thing. Yeah, you have to hide because humans can wipe you out, and they know you exist. That's what's even worse. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember me talk about, and I guess I deleted that video, but there was a point where my character got found out by the Inquisition, and I lost everything and had to create a brand new identity even. And that sucked because at the time, my character was a professor emeritus at University of Central Florida. I taught religious and occult studies. I was a well-known author on, those subjects. I had a lot of money, a nice house in Windermere, a nice car, like all the shit built around this thing, right? And in the blink of the eye, it was all gone. I had like wealth too because I'd had money in Bitcoin, and I no longer had a job. And my side hustle as a police contractor So basically, I was the psychic guy that the cops would call to try to help solve crimes. Yeah, that went up in smoke. And yeah, so long story short, the Inquisition's a bitch.
If
We'll
I
just
ever
say that.
get to play a vampire game, I just want to be a vampire private detective.
That's what I just said my character was.
Yeah,
Kinda.
I know.
Kinda. Except I worked for Orlando Police Department. And the reason I was so good at my job is because I had, I think, level 3 necromancy, Path of Ash. So, like, if you showed me a human body, I could actually
Talk to it.
concentrate and then see the last 15 minutes
Oh
of
yeah, that yeah.
that human body's life. So,
Makes it easy to figure out what happened.
which makes it pretty easy to figure out who did what. But yes, they figured out who I was. I barely got out of there. They came in with basically a, Vatican freaking strike force. So a bunch of guys and heavy armor and freaking weapons specifically designed to kill my ass. And I lost everything. Everything gone.
You also have to worry about ever being found out by the technocracy too.
Well, I mean, we never had to deal with that.
I know.
The mages and stuff.
Fair.
Yeah, our DM
No,
was nice enough that we didn't have to deal with stuff like that. Forever Night, one of my favorite shows from the 80s. So yeah, we never had to deal with the mages and shit like that because
You know how the technocracy deals with their vampire problem? They bounce off the sunlight off of 3 different satellites. Vampire with a missile.
That doesn't sound fair.
It does not.
But of course, I mean, the Order of Leopold, they're not above just, blowing your house up. So not a lot of fairness to be found in that whole thing,
World of Darkness, yeah. That's why you have to keep yourself hidden.
Yeah, it's not the world of rainbows. It's the world of darkness. Shit sucks.
Also, vampires are weaker than werewolves, so you have to.
Yeah, and luckily though, in our game, the Prince of the City of Orlando had made a deal with the local tribe of werewolves where it was kind of like a we don't mess with you, you don't mess with us kind of deal.
I don't know if the werewolves do that.
They ran. Some werewolves will absolutely do that.
Huh.
And they ran pretty much. They had free reign over all the area around Disney and like the wildlife preserves and stuff like that. And we had to stay in the city. And they agreed that was a reasonable deal.
I always thought the werewolves saw you as like a corruption of the worm, so you had to die.
The hardcore ones do. But the problem is they're not all hardcore. Or
I guess that's fair, especially with like the ones that deal with
the glass walkers that want to do business in the city.
Yeah, the glass walkers. That's the ones I was thinking of.
And the gangrel, who sometimes vampires can't even tell are vampires.
Fair.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot more going on than just, nothing is as simple as you would like it to be, lad.
Yeah, fair.
I mean,
there's always some exceptions. Like certain mages will actually deal with vampires just to make money.
Of course they will. Fucking hate mages. And you might run into a Promethean. Guess what? Hate them motherfuckers too.
Fair. Prometheans,
because they're the type we ran into was the type that the longer it stayed in a particular area, the more that particular area died. Well, the thing is with Disney, for those of you who don't live in the area, right? The area around Disney is all wildlife protection area, right? So you've got Disney right in the middle, but then there's like, I don't know how many hundreds of square acres and miles and whatever of wildlife preserve that you are not allowed to touch. And the other thing that made that whole situation a little bit questionable is there were more than a few werewolves that were actually employed by Orange County Sheriff Department. Like, so there was that too. Some of the werewolves were actually sheriff's deputies. And let me tell you, I mean, you don't really want to get into that, you know? That's not a good thing. You know, these guys are going to do bad things to you. And then of course we had the Sabbat vampire priest that had vicissitude that was like capturing vampires and werewolves or some shit and like making crazy mutant monsters out of them.
You gotta be careful with that.
Yeah. You know what? The problem though with that would be Nerdy Ogre. If you ran a vampire game in Las Vegas, no one would know. I mean, because Las Vegas is full of so many bloodsuckers already. I mean, who would notice a few vampires? Haha, I make a joke at the expense of Las Vegas. Yeah, set your vampire game in Seattle. The vampires can basically do anything they want because, I mean, that city's under perpetual freaking riot anyway. So, I mean, who's going to notice if you got vampires running around eating each other, you know? They'll just think it's just, you know, Antifa goons being idiots.
Or somebody's on bath salts.
Or somebody on bath salts. That's Miami. Yeah, I remember that when that guy in Miami ate that dude's face off.
Yep.
Yeah. Note to self, do not give the Haitians bath salts. Adventures Call at full moon at Disney World. Yeah. Well, the thing is, the werewolves that were there, as far as I know, because I could never talk to any of them directly because they hated me and they would have killed me. They were mostly glass walkers and shit like that. And there was a gangrel in the group that had the ability to where he could pass. So I think they might have thought the gangrel in our coterie was a werewolf. And, you know, so anytime we were having problems, he could always go and be like, hey, guys, you know, here's what's up. And find out what was going down, you know, which was a good thing. And mostly the werewolves that lived there, they just wanted to be left alone to run around naked in the freaking woods and, you know, do what they do, you know. And yes, as funny as you guys are making it out, Palladium vampires are nightmarish, Nerdy Ogre. They're not even vampires. Let's be honest. They're not vampires. They're something entirely different. But that aside, you know, the whole yeah, there was a reason the vampires were there. Like maybe it was a or the werewolves were in that particular area. Like there was some kind of crossing of ley lines or some shit. So,
Hey,
what's
Hey.
up, Bear? How you doing?
no, pretty good actually. Just got back from my quarterly medical exam, and my results all came back really good, so I'm happy.
Well, I'm happy too.
The only one that wasn't amazing was my A1C is 8.1 or 8.2, and they want it under 7. It's like, oh, okay, I'll get that done. No worries. Which was like, doctors, they can't just celebrate. They got to be like, that's not as good as we wanted it. Yeah, it's down from 11 point something. Shut up. That's an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah, right.
Stop your nonsense. Fuck.
And 11 point something, the highest I ever was 9.
The highest I was when I was hospitalized in 2009. It was 21.
Well, one thing, George, you may not know, but in the middle of Orlando, there's an area, downtown Orlando, near the old train station. And there, underneath that area, there's like hundreds of square yards of underground area. And it's all like warehouses and stuff. And you actually have to unlock a door and take an elevator or stairs down. And
Most
it goes
major North
under
American cities have
I-4.
that.
And it's massive. Like all of the different places there store stuff there. So yeah, there's actually a lot of underground structure in parts of Florida.
All over North America. In Montreal, we have the underground city here. Seattle has like a lost city underneath it. They do tours now.
Nerdy ogre.
Yeah, well, there's not a shock, nerdy.
Yeah, his brain scan came back negative.
Clearly.
But so yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying, and if you really want a lot underground, set that shit in Atlanta. Because Atlanta does have like an entire underground city.
So what's in the caves in Kentucky then, in the world of darkness? Changelings?
Oh, God only knows.
Guru? A whole new thing we know nothing about?
Probably not Guru. Probably not Changeling. But possibly some other kind of shapeshifter. You know what I mean? Were-Panthers or something.
Vampire
Denver Airport.
Yeah. Vampire the Masquerade, Changeling, the whatever the fuck it is, Mage the Ascension, Werewolf the Apocalypse, Kentucky the Goblining.
Kentucky's the Goblin.
Yeah, right. That might be why I'm such a big fan of goblins.
I'm pretty sure it's like Changeling the Dreaming.
Yeah, that's it. I don't give a fuck. I gave up on the world of darkness 20 years ago, man.
Yeah,
more than that now. No, about 20 years. About 20 years ago, I gave up on it.
Or, I mean, depending on where you are, there could be a whole pack of freaking Black Sparrow dancers down in one of those caves.
Or the Get of Fenris.
Well, yeah. You can't do the Denver airport because it's completely dominated by the mages.
I think Denver airport's dominated by the hunters.
I mean,
it's their safety zone.
Denver airport.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always figured because of all the occult symbology around it and everything, is probably hunters. Probably Golden Dawn guys. Order Hermes or whatever.
The Order of the Golden Dong. It's a whole other type of game. That's asshole the fucking. It's a whole other game.
I mean, if you want to play that game, it was called Hole.
The Book of Erotic Fantasy.
Yeah, Hole. The game where you literally play a drug addict whose whole goal is to get money so that you can get drugs. Well, no, Hole wasn't that. That was the one that came with Hole. Because when you bought Hole, it had a mini game. And in the mini game, you could be a warrior, a mage, a thief. And like the mages were the ones that cooked up the magic. And the thieves were the ones that broke in houses to steal stuff on the sly. And then the warriors were the ones who stole money like by brute force. But the whole goal of the game was to get the magic. Magic, of course, being long term for meth. That was the whole point of the game. You were a meth head. You were trying to get meth. All right. I mean, but that was Black Dog. Hole was human occupied landfill, and I don't know if anybody ever figured out how to even play that game. I don't think it was meant to be played. And also, instead of being typed out, the whole game was handwritten. So, like, and not like super neat handwriting. So it wasn't necessarily the easiest game to read because it was somebody's handwriting. But yeah. And in Hole, you had such wonderful places to hang out, such as the Diaper Swamp and, you know, and the whole world was completely overrun by orcs. As it said in the game, there's orcs everywhere. Good old non-copyrightable orcs. Just everywhere.
Where does orc come from originally? We've been confused about that.
Tolkien.
Tolkien is British.
Yeah, but didn't that come from somewhere? Some mythological source?
It's a slang term. Hang on. Orc.
There was
Origin.
another word that was like YRCH that was supposed to mean something, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Etymology of the word orc. The Anglo-Saxon word orc, which Tolkien used, is generally thought to be derived from the Latin word name for orcus, though Tolkien expressed doubt about this. The term orcus is glossed as orc, goblin specter, or hell devil in 10th century Old English, which Thomas Wright wrote in the Cleopatra glossaries. Orcus was the name for Pluto.
Yep.
Orc in Anglo-Saxon, like Thriss, means a specter or goblin. The term is used once in Beowulf as the plural compound Orkneus, in the sense of a tribe of monsters being descended from Cain, alongside the elves and Ettins, who were also condemned by God.
For being fence setters.
So there you go.
That used to be like a super old Christian belief, is that the elves were fence sitters in the war in heaven, so they got banished from heaven. Now, if you're Mormon, it's the black people, but like I heard it was elves. But anyway, it's too early for that. But yeah, mostly though, you can safely say it was Tolkien. Tolkien basically took a word that no one had ever really.
Yeah, it looks like it was pretty nebulous. And
Well, there is.
So was Hobbit.
In Rome.
Hobbit was the same way. Like, it's not really his word, but the Tolkien estate ignored it for decades until the movies came out, and then suddenly they went around threatening everybody who had the word Hobbit in anything with a cease and desist. Right.
Right.
So there was a bar in Vancouver called the Hobbit Hole. It was like a coffee shop, and they were there for years. And it was a great place. Like, it was really cool. When you'd go in to get your coffee, on the upper level of the first floor, around like the not wainscoting, but whatever, they had like fake doors and shit that apparently were where the little people would live, and there was like windows and stuff. It was a really cool place. And they got hit with a fucking cease and desist when the Peter Jackson film came out because the movie guys got involved.
yeah, there was a restaurant
Hole.
somewhere in Michigan. I went with my girlfriend when I was living out there that was called Bilbo Baggins, and it was like a really big, nice restaurant. This was back like 89, 90. I have no idea if it's still there or not.
No, they probably got hit by the cease and desist, just like everything else. Because that's what fucking Hollywood does. It ruins everything.
Bilbo Baggins, only 3 feet tall.
Bravest little hobbit of them all.
Right.
Talking Bilbo Baggins. Exactly. Yeah, love that.
So, yeah, Hole was a game that maybe you did need to be methed up to play. It made no sense. No part of it made any sense. It was...
I remember looking at it and going, well, this is stupid, and moving on with my day.
Yeah, because it was made as a big kind of ha-ha. You know, like the people who made it were making it as a joke. And then White Wolf, in their infinite idiocy, decided to come out with a boxed war game full of miniatures for like $99. And instead of like it being a war game where you could play vampires and werewolves, it was a war game where you played humans versus aberrations. And the aberrations were humans that went to space, basically turned into reavers and came back. And everybody was just like, why would they do that? I mean, it would be so easy to make like a little miniatures game that you play on like a 2x2 table where 2 coteries of vampires duke it out, you know? But no, idiots. It's like D&D. They had great miniatures for a war game. They never pushed the war game aspect of the game, though.
Yeah,
And
that's
they
something
even
I
made,
wish I
like,
could
2
get
different
into.
battle systems, and yet they still never pushed it.
Yeah, I would love to make a board game, but the upfront investment is just so massive.
Right. Well, look at Seaman, though. Seaman. Hell, however you would say it. They started out as Cool Mini or Not, and it was just a webpage that you could go to and vote on whether a miniature somebody uploaded was cool or not. And now they're making like miniatures and like they made Assault on Dune. They made a Cthulhu game full of miniatures. Like those guys are.
They're failing to fulfill their Kickstarters. They're about to go bankrupt. Yeah, great company.
Are they? I
Yeah,
don't
they're
know
having
that.
a lot. Simon is having lots of problems right now.
Open a tavern and call it Barely Legal.
How is the meth where you are, Nerdy?
He is in Texas.
Fair enough.
He's getting that Mexican meth.
He's online right now because he had to take a break from stripping copper wire.
With his teeth
It's like, all right.
while it was live.
Like, yeah, my brother, when we were talking about the superhero he created, one of the reasons he wanted speed was so that he said his character could strip all the copper out of an abandoned trailer in like 5 minutes. So instead, like Quicksilver going into super speed to like actually do something good, he would go into super speed to strip all the copper out of an abandoned trailer before anybody could stop him.
This is Hungar.
Yes, he made a character using Marvel rules, and his character's name is Florida Man.
Okay, it's all making sense now.
And he's not a mutant. He's a mystical being because he was in an airboat in Lake in Okeechobee, and he saw a big-ass alligator swimming around with a knife in its head. So he ran his airboat up next to it and jumped out and tackled the alligator and pulled the knife out. And it basically had the same effect as King Arthur pulling the sword out of the stone. Like a cosmic being appeared and granted him all the power of Florida. And he became Florida Man. And I'm like, well, okay, whatever.
Yeah. You see the python they cut a 5-foot alligator out of?
Yeah.
Damn.
That's fucked up.
Oh, don't worry. We've got green anacondas too. So, it's not just pythons. We got green anacondas. They're the big ones.
Yeah, okay, 5-foot alligator
Shit, a 5-foot
in
alligator is
a
nothing.
fucking boa. That's like get your brain around how big this fucking python was.
Oh, pretty big. At least 12,
Jesus
13 feet.
Christ! If that thing came into my fucking house, I'd shit myself before fighting it. You know?
But I mean, a 5-foot alligator, I run that off with a rake.
That's not the point. Jesus fucking Florida. It's like talking to the special needs kids. You're just like, you're trying to make a point. And they're like, I like peanut butter. Peanut butter's good. I put my dog eats peanut butter and looks like he's talking. Ah!
I like turtles.
But the point is that the peanut itself is actually drawn into peanut butter. Okay, fuck, whatever. Enjoy your day, Billy. You know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's what we like down here, turtles,
I like turtles.
right?
I still think my favorite one of those news bloopers.
I
is
gotta
the
go. I'll
girl-
see ya.
Jesus Christ!
Whoa.
Fuck, Leth.
What? Just saying, I gotta go.
Down.
His mic wasn't
Yelled
working
it.
so well, so we got a bullhorn.
I don't know what's going on. I just said I'd go. I gotta go. That's all.
Okay, can you hear me right now, Leth?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay, this is what you did. I gotta go right now.
Sorry.
Fuck.
Catch you later, lad.
See ya.
Always
Ignore
twice.
me.
Yeah. You will learn that I am leaving. Okay, Leth. Sorry. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, my favorite news one is the fat chick stomping grapes so that she falls out of the barrel and off the
Oh,
platform.
Oh, and she's
And
just
she
like,
makes that she makes that noise like a cat, like about to throw up. It was like, holy fuck.
yeah, that's hilarious. But I mean, let's be honest. Watching people get hurt is always kind of funny.
You know?
All comedy is based on injury.
Not
Yeah.
all.
Well, all
No,
funny
no,
comedy.
No. Emotional damage counts. So some of the okay.
Well, of course, emotional damage counts. Otherwise, that Asian dude would be out of the job.
Emotional damage.
Yeah. I saw another one. It was like a Japanese girl, and she was playing both parts. So, like, the door gets kicked in, and the Japanese girl has a mask on and a gun, and she's like, "Give me all your valuable stuff." So she hands the robber this card, and it's like, "Dear daughter, I am so proud of you. Love, Mom." And she's like, "No, I mean money and jewelry and stuff." And she's like, "Oh yeah, you can have all of that." And she gives her all the money and the jewelry. And before the robber leaves, she's like, "Can I have the card back?" And the robber's like, "What?" She's like, that is the only time in my entire life my mother ever said she was proud of me. And I'd really like to have that card back. And the robber's all like, "Really?" And the Japanese girl's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Damn, girl, you need a hug?" And she's like, "Yeah." Because it's like, the play on that, Asian parents are never proud of you.
Wow, it's
You know.
like the old Indian one for India, which is what are the three career paths of the Indian son?
Yeah,
Doctor,
lawyer,
engineer.
disappointment.
The doctor, engineer, disappointment. Exactly. So there you go.
Yeah.
But richest fucking ethnic groups are the Asians, so
I know, right?
You don't see a lot of them on the internet with blue hair bitching about stupid shit. So
Well, would they be? They're too busy working 20 hours a day as doctors.
exactly.
There have been a few, but they're generally the high achievers, even in that group.
Yeah. I had a doctor for a while, Dr. Khan. And, she was a little woman, and I'd go in there and she'd check me out. And, I mean, whatever. She moved on to another practice, and then I got a Korean doctor.
Oh yeah, what's he
She
like?
was cool, too.
Oh, she. Okay.
Yeah, she was pretty cool.
Yeah, my doctor's a Lebanese lady.
Nice.
Yeah, Problem is she lives in Quebec as a doctor, so she has to speak to me in French. Even when I talk to her in English, she answers me in French because that's the fucking law here.
Really?
Oh yeah, they made a law about 2 years ago. Medical professionals can only serve you in a language other than French in case of an emergency. And then they started sending spies around to see doctors to test them, and if the doctor violated the rule, they got a fine. So all medical professionals just speak fucking French now and just don't bother even trying because they never know if they're being set up. That's right. I live in a fucking province in a place that in the 90s, the UN declared the language laws of Quebec as a violation of human rights. And all the Anglos were like, send the peacekeepers. Send the Blue Berets to Quebec, please.
Well, I mean, you know, you had to do what you had to do to keep Quebec in the Confederation.
Fuck. Yeah, well, yeah.
My favorite part in Canadian Bacon is when Dan Aykroyd, as the cop, pulls them over. They have all like, fuck Canada, screw Canada. He makes them write it all in French.
Oh, and I look at he just goes, Americans, eh? Ah, welcome to Ontario, Sportsman's Paradise. I love that. That was my favorite line in the whole movie. That and surrender pronto or we'll level Toronto.
It's like just a bunch of guys woke up one day and decided they were going to invade Canada.
When was the last time someone said, hey, let's go out for Canadian food?
Well, they're mad about something.
With the Quebecers? No, they're mad about nothing. They have spent the last 55 fucking years being told that they're under threat and they're in trouble and therefore they need the government to protect them, and they've bought that bullshit. And they become a fucking adolescentized purse puppy culture where they can't fucking do anything right and the government's always there to bail them out. It's disgusting. They literally turned Toronto into Toronto. By all their language bullshit in the 70s, all the banks moved their head offices to Toronto. All the businesses packed up and moved their shit to Toronto, and Toronto became a boomtown as a result. Could have been Montreal, but no. Fuck you. We got to get bullshit stupid about language.
Isn't most of like the British Columbia and Alberta beef about them getting like milked by Quebec?
Yeah. So what it is there's a thing called the Laurentian Club. And it's basically the elites of Ontario and Quebec, so Upper and Lower Canada. And what they do is they basically force all of the other provinces that have natural resources to share the profits from their natural resources, and then they give it to the poorer provinces. So Quebec, this is one of the smarter things they did in this province. We have amazing hydroelectricity here. Like you guys, most of the lights on the Eastern Seaboard are on because of Quebec, just in case you were wondering, by the way. We provide the electricity. So what they did was they made it a private company, not a public one. So therefore, they qualify for transfer payments. So basically, Quebec, the Maritimes, and Ontario get billions of dollars from Saskatchewan and Alberta from farming and oil. So they did the math this year, and they found out that if they were to leave Confederation, therefore no more transfer payments, the average Albertan would be getting back $5,000 a year in tax breaks. That's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
And people are, that's why the Alberta independence thing is getting more leg than it should, because people are now looking at the money expenditures and they're like, wait, I can have more money and I don't have to have French on anything? Oh, fuck yeah. Like, I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, I saw something where I guess the leader of Alberta told Ontario to pound sand. They were building the oil pipeline anyway.
Yeah, that's up in the air.
Because, like, Ontario's like, you can't build the pipeline to Montana. And the Albertans are like, we're going to do it anyway.
Well, the big problem is we have the world's largest reserves of LNG, or of natural gas that could become liquefied easily if we built the processing plants. And what we do produce, we're selling to you guys for, let's say, $4 a barrel. And you guys are turning around and selling that to the Europeans for $14 a barrel, which makes no fucking sense.
It makes a lot of sense if you're us.
No, for you, it makes great sense. For us, it makes no sense. But Trudeau refused to.
That's what I said.
Keep laughing. That's all I'm going to say to America. Keep laughing, because one day the temperature is going to switch, and it's going to get a lot colder as we head into another ice age. And then you're all going to wake up in the middle of the night hearing the sound of skates coming towards you. It's the end of your fucking nation.
No.
We're going to turn off the electricity, so you're all going to be freezing to death because you don't know how to handle the cold. Second, we're going to turn off all the water, so you can't fucking do anything. And then
Florida literally has more Stanley Cups than half the Canadian teams.
And most of your teams are made up of Canadians. And no, they don't, because the Montreal Canadiens have the most Stanley Cups. Shut the fuck up and learn about hockey.
I said most.
Yeah, most. There's like 5 fucking teams in this country. Give me a break.
I like Calgary school.
Jesus Christ, you fucking Americans.
The
I
Calgary
swear to
Listen,
God.
mutant, are you friendly? No way. Like radiation has made me an enemy of society.
Yeah, they're doing a sequel, by the way.
Oh, are they?
Yep. Yep. So
Yeah, see,
Montreal
you say
has
that-
24, Toronto has 13, Detroit has 11, and Boston has 6. There's your top 4 right out of the gate. Fuck off, Florida.
hey, we still.
I wish they actually made a feature-length version of that.
Which
science
Florida
fiction
team
film.
are we talking about? Tampa Bay, the Lightning?
Yeah,
Yeah, they have 3.
3.
Holy shit.
Okay.
The fucking Panthers have 2. Let's
That's less than
see.
3 last time I checked.
Edmonton has 5, Montreal has 23, and Toronto has 13. There's half our Canadian teams with more fucking cups than the goddamn.
Yeah, but those
Bullshit
teams
Florida
were
teams.
playing hockey.
So
100
shut
years
up.
before-
Shut the fuck up.
100 years before our team existed, they got their cup.
Your teams were all Canadian teams you bought. Because of Gary.
Yeah, and you
Bettman.
know what? You're talking about when it gets cold, you're going to hear skates coming south. We're not,
Oh, yeah.
because by then you'll be American.
No, we won't.
Because Canada's only claim to fame is not being American. It's like you
Uh-huh.
ask a Canadian, "Oh, you're Canadian. What's that like?" Well, we're not Americans.
Yeah, that's not at all what happens, but next try.
Bear's like, "Damn it! Well, you got to rag on my country like that."
Yeah, you want to pick the fight? We'll pick the fight. But dude, you're not ready to be hockey shirted right now. That's what you don't understand.
Oh,
America has never learned the valuable rule about Canada, which is don't fucking rile us up. Leave us the fuck alone. We'll be like, yeah, everything's cool, eh? It's all good, eh? But then you keep poking, and like the Germans found out the hard way. You poke a little too fucking hard, and then suddenly it's fucking canned beef, grenade. You know what I mean? Like, you know?
Yeah, the
Hey,
Geneva Convention should have
let's
been called the
define it.
Canada Act.
Oh, okay. We're mad enough now. We're gonna invent some new war crimes. Let's go, boys. You know, like, god damn.
see, here's the thing. You brag about your war crimes from World War II. We've been committing war crimes since we started.
Yeah, actually, our war crimes were from World War One more than they were from World War II.
Okay. We committed war crimes in every war.
Yeah, so did we.
And
We just don't. We just. No, you haven't. Don't even try and pretend you've been in every war. You weren't in the fucking Napoleonic Wars. Relax.
Oh, God. Neither were you.
Actually, we were part of the British Empire, and so we were.
Yeah, you were too busy burning down the White House.
Oh, it was fun. In fact, we kicked your country's ass twice, and boy, that seems to be a chip on your shoulders.
We went up there and conquered a city, and
Oh my God, a whole city! We
left.
marched into your capital and burned it to the fucking ground because we were drunk. We were
And
literally
then-
drunk.
and then lost a whole regiment of soldiers in return.
So what? We still burned your shit down. It was fair fucking trade.
Hiding behind cotton bells.
It was awesome. We were drunk and went, fuck them. We did it.
We took over a whole city of yours, and it was so boring we left.
Yeah, that's what happened. Sure. Yeah.
No, that's what happened. They're like, it's cold and boring.
That's exactly why. Yeah, stop your nonsense. It's so not what happened. You're
Yep.
so full of shit, Americans. You guys love to rewrite history to make your losses look like no. We voluntarily gave
Because
that
the
shit up.
victor writes the histories.
Yeah, well, yet we still know we burned your fucking city to the ground. So how you like
We
them
did.
apples, Victor?
And you know what we did? We built a better one
No, you didn't. You built a swamp with fucking hexagrams.
because
Actually,
in America-
pentagrams.
In America, we just be building shit.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, you want to see something funny? Look up the Canadian submarine fleet.
Yeah, well,
All
Look
four
up what's
of them.
happened.
None of
Look
them are
what's-
seaworthy.
there are 40 million people in our fucking country, and we live next door to you.
We have
Why
80
the fuck
Los
do we?
Angeles attacks them
Guess what? We don't need them. You know why?
because
we're not
we have
sticking our-
80 Los Angeles. attacks.
No, because we're not sticking our dick in every other country's bullshit and getting them mad at us.
Oh, that's not.
If
If Russia wanted to invade Canada, your lack of dick sticking would have nothing to do with it.
dude,
They don't do it because they know we have 80 Los Angeles class attack subs.
Also, Russia invaded Canada. They would find out the same thing everyone finds out when they invade Canada. Good luck with that shit. You think we're a pain in the ass when we come to your country to fight? Imagine what we're like on our home territory.
I don't know. Probably wouldn't be much of a big deal. I mean, we have whole divisions that train up in the Arctic all the time. I can't imagine that
Yeah, we teach
over
you.
a tiny
We-
little country would be like that big of a deal.
A tiny little country. We're the second largest country in the world.
Yeah, but there's nobody there.
And that's the point. You guys start marching into the wilderness thinking, oh, and then fuck, we come out of the woodwork. And you're like, what the fuck? What's going on?
Yeah, that's
Why
not
are
how we
doing
march
this?"
into the wilderness.
Yeah, no, because Afghanistan obviously didn't teach you shit over there, did it?
No,
Or
we are all.
Vietnam,
We,
Or every
Alaska,
other
we are
fucking
all-
war
we are
you
all
fought
white.
since World
We
War
got our
II.
M16s in white. And
Let's see.
creeping.
Korean War, pretty much almost lost that when China kicked the shit out of you. The Vietnam War, you pretty much just
China
gave up
kicked
and
the
ran.
shit out of us. They pushed us back. to
Yeah, that's called
Busan,
kicking
at
the
which
shit out of
point-
you.
at
That's
which
called
point,
kicking the
because we
shit
were
out of you.
fucking around at first, Bear.
No, you
were
weren't. You
playing
guys
games.
got overzealous. You pushed past the point China warned you to, and then China got in the war and pushed your asses back further south.
And then
than
what
you
happened? And then what
You-
happened?
You made a fucking ceasefire.
No, we pushed them to 54th and threatened to nuke them back into the fucking Stone Age.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's what
exactly
happened.
what
Look it up.
Yeah.
There's
That's
a
why-
reason the border
that's why
is where it is.
That's why the border's so close to Seoul, because the Americans were so good at pushing the
it's
Chinese
not
back
that
to
close
that
to
border.
Seoul as you think.
Doc, you were there. How close is the North Korean border to Seoul by comparison to, say, any other country in the world living next to its enemy?
It's probably a 2-hour drive.
Yeah, that's real fucking close for your
Not
capital
for
to be next
Korea.
to your
Korea's
enemy.
not as big as Florida.
Oh my God,
Yeah, it's a
I can't
reasonably
even.
small country, but
If
It
I drive
doesn't
2
matter.
hours north, guess what? I'm almost to Georgia.
So imagine if I don't know, you're a country with a hostile neighbor right on your border. You're going to move your capital as far from this as you fucking can. We did
You
it.
would think.
We did it. We moved our capital from Kingston to Ottawa because of you fuckers.
You would think. However, yes, the Chinese did invade. They did push us back. Then we landed reinforcements and murdered
Uh-huh.
the fuck out of them
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
pushed them back to the 54th.
And
would've
that's
kept going.
absolutely why you signed a ceasefire, because clearly you were winning.
No, they wanted the ceasefire. We were crushing.
Okay.
For
Yeah,
real.
we're technically still at war with North Korea.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, Doc's not proving you right.
It's called "You Didn't Win," which was my entire point of the conversation.
Because
But
they
like
caught
all,
his
hang
arms
on. Like
And
all
our
fucking
president
Americans,
came up
and
with
like
a
I
system
said
to nuke
earlier in this conversation point, Americans love to take losses, rearrange the definitions of everything, and then call it a fucking victory. And that's what you're doing.
We
The
did
Korean
drive
War,
them
you
out
didn't-
South Korea. That was the goal.
You did not win the Korean War. You did not win the Vietnam
Oh,
War.
it's still going on. So you
You
can't.
did
say
not
you
win.
didn't it.
The only war you guys won in the late 20th century was the fucking invasion of Grenada, and maybe Noriega. What fucking country was he in?
Panama.
Nicaragua.
Panama. Nicaragua.
no, it was-
Panama.
Yeah, it was Panama.
Yeah, those are like the only two you've literally you can go. Yeah, they won those fucking things. You didn't win
I don't
Iraq.
know.
You didn't win
kinda crushed
Afghanistan.
Iraq.
You
We killed like 3
didn't
million.
win. Oh my God. It doesn't matter how many you fucking kill if they're not flying your fucking flag when it's done.
Oh well, we never take anyone over. I mean, come on. That's not the American way. If we were
That
like,
is so the American way. You take them over with Coca-Cola and fucking potato chips.
if we were expansionistic, Mexico and Canada wouldn't exist.
You tried. We stopped you.
You would not stop us in the modern day.
Yes, we would. You would take our
No, you
cities
would
and
not.
then You would take our cities, and you would never take the wilderness here, and it would make
We
fucking
would take your
Iraq.
cities and
It
then
would
we
make the
spend-
insurgencies in Iraq and Afghanistan and Vietnam look like a fucking trip to Disneyland by comparison.
No,
We
they-
don't want to fight our own fucking insurgents because of their ability
Half
to fight
of
the
your
wilderness.
people want to be part of our country.
No, they don't. You really got to get that shit out of your head.
just the
The
West.
vast majority of no, actually, even the West, the support is for independence, not for becoming Americans.
Dude, they're saying pledge of
Stop
allegiance.
watching three fucking
American.
guys on YouTube talk a bunch of bullshit because they want to be Americans. This has always been the problem. There's like a small percentage of Canadians who
Why
want to be
would they
American.
want to be Americans? We're
I don't know,
obviously-
healthcare, guns, crime, all the other shit that goes on.
Oh, don't act like you ain't got crime.
We didn't say we didn't have crime. We just don't have
Freaking
people.
Snow
kicking in
got
people's-
arrested for stabbing a motherfucker. Wrote a whole song about it.
Oh my god.
He's from Toronto, though.
Oh my god.
We do
Believe
got
what you want.
guns. We do got crime.
Believe what you want. I'm not arguing with you anymore.
What else do we got, though?
Don't
Everything good. Everything good.
care. Don't care.
And we might nuke the shit out of the cartels in Mexico. So we could be invading Mexico soon. And we're definitely getting ready to fuck up Venezuela.
Good for you.
Not that they can do anything about it.
Nope. That's literally like kicking a puppy. So have fun with that.
And we're going to kick the fuck out of that fucking cartel puppy.
And then wonder why everybody hates you. It's so amazing.
My Venezuelan driver is praying we destroy Madero.
I didn't say that the Venezuelans will hate you. The rest of the world hates you.
Oh, no one cares.
Yeah, you do care when it comes
It's
to.
like Europe hates us, and we're just like, so.
Okay.
I mean, what the fuck are you gonna do about it? Nothing. Well, actually, Europe doesn't hate us. Poland loves us. Us and Poland are like this.
Yeah, and Europe hates Poland, so
Hey, that's because I think the Europeans, all the really good ones, died in World War I and II,
Mm-hmm.
and really all they got left is like sissies.
Mm-hmm.
The only good Europeans are the ones that American soldiers knocked up their moms before we left. There. So anyway, the other person who's made a character just made an Indian who is from like the Algonquin tribe or something, but he's got all of Wolverine's powers, except he does not have a titanium skeleton or adamantium skeleton. So, he's like original Wolverine. So that's the second guy, and he's an Indian. Jeff, the top country.
Gee, I wonder what country Jeff's from. I wonder. I'm having a hard time figuring out what country Jeff's from.
Australia, I think.
Is he from Australia? Well, they're the Americans of the Southern Hemisphere, so enjoy that.
We love the Australians.
See, there it is.
The only thing we don't like about Australia is they gave their guns up. That was a bad move.
Oh, there
You
you
give
go.
your guns up, the next thing you know, they're throwing you in jail for memes. Can't trust the government. That's the one thing America had learned. You can't trust the government. But yeah, I don't know where Jeff is actually from though. But
So if you actually would listen to the point I'm making, which is if you guys would stop talking the way you talk and actually talk to the rest of the world a little bit more than just saying we're fucking amazing, we do no wrong, you might actually be surprised how many people love you. Because there are a ton of us who love you guys. It's just when you get drunk, we kind of go, oh fuck. Dad's drunk. Everyone shut up, turn off the TVs, go hide in your rooms and make no fucking noise until he falls asleep, please. That's what it turns into. It's this abusive relationship. We feel bad.
do you know what the Latin thing for my family crest is in English?
I'm scared to ask.
Who cares if they hate you as long as they fear you?
That sounds Celtic as fuck.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, damn, that's not good. That doesn't sound like these guys were the good guys ever.
It's really not.
Like, we don't care if you hate us, fear us. I was like,
No. It's like that old line they say, where is it better to be feared or loved, right? It's always better to be feared than loved. because someone who loves you will betray you, believing they're trying to do better for you and help you.
Right.
People who fear you will rarely try and cross you unless they can take you the fuck out while they're doing it.
Well, I know you're just effing around with me, and I'm effing around with you.
I know.
We love our Canadian brothers.
And we love our American brothers. I've told you this many a time.
There in a second, digging in the trenches and defending Toronto and every other place from anybody, aliens, the Chinese, Russians.
I'm trying to figure out. I'm still trying to figure out. You said you took in a Canadian city, and I'm still trying to figure out which one it was you think you took.
Apparently, Washington crossed the border and like took a town, and there was no army there, so he just left.
It was a town.
Yeah, it's like some little town right across the border.
That's not a city.
But he got there, and it was just a bunch of
Once
Canadian
again,
civilians
American
standing around.
exceptionalism. So there was like 10 guys there. We took the fucking city. You know, it's like it was 10 guys.
Dude, I'm copying to the story. It was like a town, and they showed up, and there was no military. It was just some people, and the army was just like.
It abated for a minute. Now we're right back here.
Oh my God. No, but the best part is when you take the White House tour, there's a painting of the burning of Washington, and the tour guides have to say burned by British irregular forces. And Canadians always go, "Don't you mean Canadians?" And if my buddy was there and he did that, and he said the poor girl just kind of looked down and went, "Yes, Canadians." She was so embarrassed by it.
See, that's where I disagree with you, Jeff. I don't think there'll be a next top power. I think
No, the
we'll
Romans
destroy the
didn't
world
either.
before that happens.
I don't think so.
I mean, it'll be like, we'd rather just destroy the whole world than let China be in charge of anything.
I think the danger for your country, to be quite honest, is if some crazy evangelical becomes president. That is the danger for your country, because that's like that line from Firefly. There's nothing more dangerous than a man who thinks he's right with God. Right? So you got some crazy fucking evangelical gets into the thing, let the missiles fly, hallelujah. You know what I mean? That's the guy.
Well,
you got.
that was from the movie
Dead Zone.
Dead Zone. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the book too.
Yeah, I never read the book. Stephen King, though, right? One of his short stories.
I always wanted to splice that into the West Wing somewhere.
And Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken.
It is Martin Sheen. Yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta put your goddamn hand on that thing before I cut it off and cut myself.
Yeah,
Turn that
that's a
into
good
a
movie.
So you know how every time Christopher Walken would get a vision, he'd do this jerky reaction, like You know how they achieved that? Not every time, but more than enough that he became really paranoid about it. The director would fire a starter pistol behind him. But not every time.
Just sometimes. The director wasn't Kubrick, was it? I mean,
No, it was Cronenberg.
okay, because
I believe it.
Kubrick
Hang
had
on, I could be wrong. Hang on.
people go insane.
Yeah, no, yeah. He did the fucking what's her name?
That
yeah, it's
chick quit
Cronenberg.
acting and
Cronenberg
lost
directed.
hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and got super fat. She went from being
she
like the
was just like,
skinny. She was
duh.
so skinny they cast her as Olive Oil in the Popeye movie,
Right.
and now and then at the end, I think she's dead now. I don't know if she's still alive, but she was like 350 pounds at one point.
Yeah.
I'm very pissed about that, and also what they did with Margot Kidder. With those
She died
interviews.
last year.
They
She
should
died
have
last
left
year.
them alone. That was so
Margot Kidder
exploitative.
is one of the fucking saddest things because she just needed help. She
I don't
just
think
needed
Margot
a good
Kidder
fucking mental health doctor. She played Lois Lane in the 70s Superman movie.
She was
yeah.
she was schizophrenic, and she eventually became resistant to her medication.
Yeah, because they didn't help her.
sometimes
was she
happens.
in the Indiana Jones movies too?
No, that's Karen Black.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Karen Black. You're thinking of the chick who's in. No, Karen Black was like the 70s horror chick. The Indiana
Raiders
Jones
of the Lost Ark is Karen Allen. Sorry, Karen
yeah,
Allen.
she was the one. She's like in stuff once in a rare while. She was like in Animal House. Like every 15, 20 years, she does a movie.
Yeah, I wonder why. Eh?
Well,
wonder
Kubrick
why.
broke Shelley, whatever.
Shelley Duvall, he broke her. He fucking
He
shattered
broke
her.
her ass.
He was a
Yeah.
notorious bastard. There was a bunch of funny stories about him and Peter Sellers when they were doing Dr. Strangelove.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like and it was interesting when you see interviews with the cast because everybody hated Peter Sellers' guts because he was a fucking scumbag.
Oh
But
really?
he was also but he was severely mentally ill. Is
No.
part of it, and Kubrick like deliberately apparently like provoked him at every like opportunity. It was like everybody thought
I
it was like
do
really
know
sick,
that
like
the
this
legend,
dynamic between them.
and it is just a legend. I could be wrong. That when
Mhm.
he was shooting like 2001, he made him do like 170 reshoots
Oh yeah, he was renowned for doing multiple takes until
of
it was
like
exactly how he
one
wanted it.
scene because he was like, I don't know, crazy.
He's a
He
great
was
director. He only
obsessive.
made one really bad movie, in my opinion, which was Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah, but that's because you never saw his movie. They cut over 30 minutes out of that fucking film after he died.
Oh, did they? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
So you
That
never
was a
saw
wild
Kubrick's.
movie about like cults and Satanism and all
I
kinds
mean,
of
I saw what he
so
was
hang
going for, but
hang on. They cut out over 30 minutes of the movie. They redubbed some of the sequences to change what was being said, including to the point where they fucking removed an entire subplot from the script, all after he died. So who was protecting who, and what was he revealing in that shit? Think about that, right?
Yeah, it had something to do with weird satanic
Nothing in that movie
things.
is a natural location. They're all sound stages. Everything is built to Kubrick's specifications, the streets, what the stores on the streets are, what the names of things and backgrounds are, things like that, what teddy bears are on the shelf. Kubrick was that level of control, right? So what was he doing that they had to cut out 30 plus minutes of the fucking film and overdub certain things that were, like when people were wearing masks and talking so you couldn't see their fucking lips moving to change the story? That freaks me out, man. I would love to see Kubrick's fucking cut just to know what he did that they pissed. I still think they
pissed him
killed him.
off so bad.
I still think they fucking.
It's kind of like AI. You can tell when Kubrick dies by watching that movie.
Oh yeah,
because the first half is dark as shit, and then all of a sudden it's about chasing down the Green Fairy or something. It's like
yeah. It's when Spielberg takes over.
Yeah, Spielberg takes over, and it just completely is totally a different film.
By the way, non-union Mexican Senior Spielbergo, how do you feel about all this? So the first time I was ever on a stream with Doc, he had his baseball cap on, and he looked like Mexican non-union Steven Spielberg. It was fucking hilarious. Senor Spielbergo.
Yeah, I watched some guy. He's like older dude with glasses, white hair, who does like movie review. It's like media reviews, not just movies. Okay. And he made what I thought was like a really brilliant observation about Steven Spielberg. Is like one of the absolute greatest technical masters of filmmaking with nothing to say.
Yeah, that's really fair. That's a really fair thing.
Well, didn't he also have them remove all the guns from E.T.? Was that him?
Yep.
Yeah, that's just dumb.
Okay, the liberal mind virus that exists in LA is disturbing. Okay, disturbing. Yeah. There are a imperial shit ton of conservative producers, directors, and actors in fucking Hollywood, but they're afraid to say anything because they'll get blacklisted. The only one that currently is getting away with it is Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt is Christian, and he's Christian, and he's like, every time I put out a movie, all the Christians go to see it, so I can fucking say what the fuck I want. You know what I mean?
Apparently, all the people who work with him defended him too when they came after him. Like the guy that played Iron Man, like all the guys from Guardians of the Galaxy, they're all like, "What the fuck is wrong with you guys? This guy's a nice guy."
Yeah,
he never bothers anybody.
Yeah, the other thing about Steven Spielberg is for all his anti-gun shit, Steven Spielberg owns the largest private collection of firearms in the United States.
Yeah, I could believe it.
and yet he's just like
But maybe
militant
changed his
anti-gun
mind
person.
since the ET thing, and he
Well,
realized,
yeah, because they re-edited it to put the guns back in. By the way, they
Right.
they undid that. But I think it's also a question of Spielberg knows that he has to, if there's enough pressure from one side of Hollywood, he's got to bend a little bit, because he
I
doesn't want it to break.
that you're
He has to
100%
bend.
right.
He has to bend because if he doesn't bend, his secrets start coming out. And I assure you, he has secrets.
I assure you that I agree. That was kind of a weird assurance, but yeah.
But it worked.
Yeah, all
I'm
of
sure.
Spielberg's good stuff was his early career, like Jaws and
Which was
Close
only
Encounters.
good because
Duel
the
was
shark
really
broke
good.
down.
Duel is very good. Yeah, Jaws is only good because the shark broke down and because what's his name? Robert Shaw
Yeah.
insisted on redoing the Indianapolis siege. There was a whole other speech, and he did it, and he didn't like the take, and he begged Spielberg to let him do it again. Spielberg finally agreed, and then apparently the entire fucking set when he was done was just like no one was talking. I'm telling you, I've worked in film for a long time. As soon as they say cut, noise erupts as everybody runs to do their task between the next setup. Apparently, when he was done, they forgot to say cut for a while. Like apparently everyone, even Spielberg, was just staring at him like, what the fuck did we just hear? They knew it was something special.
True story.
Yep.
Nicolas Cage is even in a movie where he plays the captain of the Indianapolis.
That's such
Yeah,
a
that
sad
was
story.
really because, and the thing is, they blamed the captain.
Yes,
He was only exonerated very recently. Even the commander of the Japanese sub that sunk them came to testify on his behalf.
Yeah.
It's like he did nothing wrong. He made the right decision. It's exactly
But-
what I would have done in his situation. He was leaking oil. He couldn't do the maneuver, and he had to make a blind run for it. I just caught him.
But
Yeah.
they needed a fucking scapegoat.
War sucked.
Can't have that many Americans die without someone taking the fall, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he kill himself in the end?
Yeah, he committed
Yeah,
suicide.
on his porch, like with his service revolver or something. He just did himself in. Like
Yeah,
No,
and the
I-
surviving crew up like until there was almost none of them left. We used to go to Washington every year to protest.
Wow.
I think the guy who dropped one of the bombs on Japan ended up taking himself off the registry too. Because he just couldn't live with, knowing he had whacked a couple 100,000 people. I mean, I'm with Tucker on this one. It had to be done, but that don't mean it's good or
Yep.
moral. It's still evil to drop bombs on civilians and wipe them out. That's still not a good thing, but sometimes you just got to do shit you don't want to do.
And also, when you get down to it, it's just another piece of ordnance. I mean, we killed so much. Look at them. So many more people died in Dresden, for which there was no purpose to even doing that. The
There was
British
a
literally
purpose.
did that for a newsreel.
The purpose was the British were still very angry at the Germans over the bombing of London.
Yeah,
No,
the Tokyo
I-
firebombing killed
Dresden.
like 5 times as many people as those 2 A bombs together.
Yeah. And
I mean,
yeah.
that was just the nature of that war. Civilians
yeah, it's
became the
Total War.
primary target.
Because everybody understood that, this ain't time to F around. We got to, this war needs to be won, and the good guys better win it or else. And yeah. At least I think that's my opinion of it.
I think at World War II was a very Pyrrhic victory in a lot of ways, just because.
Well, I know the Russians lost tens of millions of people.
Yeah, they lost something like 40% of everyone who died was like Russian.
Yeah, pretty much every single Russian family lost somebody in the Great Patriotic War. And as a result, their population after the communists took over, or no, this is after that. This is Stalin. They lost so many people fighting the Great Patriotic War that their population never recovered. Which is why America has 3 times the population of Russia right now. You know, there was a time when everybody thought about Russia and you always pictured, you know, hordes of soldiers just jumping out of the weeds, right? It's not like that anymore. There's 3 times more of us than them because they just lost so many people they just couldn't recover.
Yeah. Also, for their size, not a lot of their land is actually usable.
The Great Socialist Civil War, that's kind of true. National socialists against globalist socialists, you know?
Can we all just accept that socialism is a really shitty, stupid idea that only leads to death?
It works great if you're a bee or an ant.
Yeah, if you're not a human
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have a hive mind, it's not going to work out well.
It's not great because humans are assholes and we all want just a little bit more than we got.
Yep.
And that don't work in a socialist society.
Nope. Unless you're in the Politburo and then you get everything you want.
Right.
I am head of KGB. I get my beats delivered to house.
Well, I mean, in a lot
No,
of ways,
no. I'm head of KGB. I get my American rock and roll, blue jeans, and all contraband delivered to my house. You know?
right. If you look at Soviet communism, it shares an awful lot with straight up medieval feudalism.
Mhm.
You know, it's like the people at the top are getting all of the goods from the people at the bottom, and they're telling them, it's like they open up a beautiful subway station, and believe me, in Moscow, the subway
They are
stations
beautiful.
are beautiful.
Yeah.
And then they tell the people those subway stations belong to them, but it's not like they can ride the subway. That's it. I mean, it's like they'll be like, all of this oil we're pumping out of the ground is the people's oil, but people are not going to see a dime.
Yeah.
And it's so weird, you know, how they do it, but
Well, they were like the last like serious feudal society and so I mean they were kind of locked into that way of thinking, and that's one of the reasons like Japan took off the way it did after World War II. You had basically a feudal society with all this technology and infrastructure just inserted into it, and it worked great for a couple of years until some guys decided, you know, I don't want to be the janitor my entire life because I did bad on one test in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
And then it all kind of fell apart.
No, it hasn't fallen apart that badly.
well, the
I mean,
Japanese,
it's a long cry from the heyday of the 70s and 80s, but it's still not bad. If you had to pick a place in the first world to live for safety, healthcare, life
Oh, yeah.
expectancy,
Yeah.
Japan's not a bad choice. You know what I
That's
mean?
a great choice. I mean, but I tell my wife, and I mean no offense to any of our non-American friends, that I really feel like when I was born in America, I hit the lotto.
That's what we say in Canada. We say we won the
Like,
genetic lottery to be born.
I
here.
don't deserve what I got. It was just like somehow magically, instead of being born in South Congo, where I would dig lithium with my bare hands until I mutated or went sterile or something, somebody ate me. I lucked out, and even though I was born in like the poorest part of this country, it's still so much better than being born literally almost anywhere else.
Yeah.
But if I'd been born in Japan, I think I'd been all right.
I was born to a single unwed mother in 1970 in the Maritime
Canada.
in maritime Canada, and was lucky to be adopted by a middle class, family that was in business. You know what I mean? Like, imagine if I'd been born to a single fucking mother in the Philippines in 1970,
Right.
or the Congo, or
And of my list of places,
Morocco,
to be born
or,
besides America, Canada is on the list. Canada is definitely on the list.
you'd be an interesting.
I would say
Canadian.
Canada's probably top 5. Because
You'd be
at
an
least
interesting
if I'm
Canadian.
born in Canada and I didn't like it, I could immigrate to America.
It's a lot harder for us to go than you think. By the way,
That's
we either have to marry an American, right? Have a work permit that's sponsored by an American company that has proven they can't find an American to fill the job, which is apparently pretty easy to do for them, or prove that we have an indispensable and uniquely valuable skill for the American economy.
I know the secrets of poutine. I will share them with you.
Apparently you don't because you can't fucking pronounce it.
What happened?
Well, don't worry, Bear. We're gonna fix that for you.
I want to open an interdimensional portal and see
'Cause,
Canadian
like,
James.
down here, like,
Fucking America.
once you guys are states, you'll find that you can travel between states freely.
Uh-huh.
Anyone can go anywhere.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty good.
Uh-huh.
Like if I want to go to Kentucky, sure, it's like a 16-hour drive, but no one stops me and looks for a passport.
Uh-huh.
Even though it might as well be a different country, honestly.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Oh, I did see a fun hat the other day on some video I was watching. Some Canadian guy was wearing a hat that "Make Canada Mediocre Again." It was funny.
Well, I know that Polyev, speaking of Canada, Polyev has basically maneuvered Carney into a position where Carney's going to end up having to implement a lot of the things Polyev wanted him to implement, or pretty much get beheaded or something.
I'm very curious.
What's going to happen?
Yes.
So what's going to happen is when Parliament reconvenes soon, Polyev is going to be there, and Carney doesn't know how to fucking fight in the House of Commons. He just doesn't know how to do it. Polyev does. Polyev was an attack dog for the Conservative Party. So Carney's going to be made to look like an idiot more than Trudeau was made to look like an idiot. And they're going to put up a budget. Without the NDP support, the Conservatives are going to be able to hopefully vote down the budget, and then that triggers an election due to a vote of non-confidence. And then Carney's bye-bye, because all of his promises went out the window the minute he got into office. You know what I mean? He's done nothing for this country since he won.
And unlike his predecessor, he's not even handsome
Or charismatic.
at all. I mean, the guy just doesn't look like anybody you'd want to really listen to.
I'm-
I mean, say what you want, but Trudeau was at least a good-looking guy. He had a nice set of hair. You know, he was doing his thing, and you kind of was like,
So it was a haircut and a smile, that guy.
I'm curious what's going to happen in fucking Britain. They look like they're ready to cut Starmer's damn head off.
Dude, there's going to be if shit keeps going the way it's going in the UK, there's going to be a fucking revolution. That Scottish girl was way, like, them arresting her was a big fucking mistake.
And Keir Starmer straight up attacked King Charles.
Really?
Yeah, there was it was all over the news last night. Keir Starmer gave a speech, and he was really mean to King Charles. Like, you know, talking all this shit. And there's like calls for Keir Starmer to step down, and their Supreme Court has already ruled that he has to step down, but he don't want to step down. And you know,
well,
of course,
they're also in the unenviable position where their two parties are essentially identical
right.
in every meaningful way.
And
There's
then
really
Nigel Farage is in the mix talking.
even he is like basically the same as those guys.
Yeah.
He's all down with the more of the crazy immigration. They have like nothing. They have nowhere to turn over there.
The only thing I can find is from 2 months ago, James. I'm not finding anything from last night.
Well, I saw it last night, but who knows? Maybe it was from months ago, and I just whatever.
Could be. Anyway, the point is that country is basically on the verge of a fucking revolution.
Dude, you can go on YouTube and see British people who have made videos saying, "Dear America, please come and occupy us."
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Oh,
we
did you
need
see
help
the thing
deporting
with
our
Trump
illegals.
and Vance over there?
No,
Oh, Vance.
Oh my!
Every
They
time he goes over there,
fucking
it's
smacked
just
him around on British television. Even the British TV is admitting it. They like humiliated his ass.
What happened?
He was like being all like trying to, oh, great to have you here. Oh, where and they just like went right in on him on all the arrests, and they like wouldn't drop it.
Yeah, apparently England has arrested more people in the
and
last
he was like
bunch of years
stumbling.
than Russia.
Yeah, they like by like an order of magnitude.
It's like, you know, when your country is arresting people for thought crime more than Russia, you know that it's like, you know, like Like they've arrested more people for thought crime than Saudi Arabia. At that point, you really got to step back and rethink what you're doing. You know, and granted, yes, Russia's no longer the Soviet Union. It's not like they got KGB or FSB standing outside everyone's house. And they generally only kill reporters that won't shut up. But still, England is throwing more people in prison for shit they said on the internet than like almost any other country. It's madness.
Well, they suffer from the same problem we suffer from in Canada, which is our national media refuses to tell the truth and report on things accurately. So you have this situation with that little girl in Scotland who was standing up for her sister, who had been kicked to the ground by a gypsy. And then the gypsy's woman came over and started kicking her in the back of the head, and she had to go to the hospital with a softball-sized welt on her skull. So the little girl, the sister, got the axe and knife because it's fucking Scotland, and then he videotaped that. She's arrested. The fucking gypsy's still walking around. That's the problem. And the media over there is not reporting it properly. They're reporting it like, oh, more, crazy. What's going on? Little girl with a knife. Oh, no. Not, hey, fucking migrant attacked Scottish teenager and was being sexually inappropriate verbally to her. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's how you get revolution.
Yeah, it is.
When people know they're being lied to openly.
Well, and you develop a two-tier legal system where some people can just do whatever they want, and other people
You mean
go to prison.
like Austria that's now allowing fucking Sharia law for business deals?
Yeah, that is. I don't know what to say about that.
Look, I have Muslim
Where's
friends.
Texas?
I've worked with
Korea?
North Africans. I've worked with Middle Eastern people. They're wonderful fucking human beings. Every single one of them. You spent time over there. You know what I'm talking about. There are some damn fine people.
Well, my favorite was the Moroccans I hung out with.
Moroccans are funny. They speak a whole different
Moroccans
Arabic.
are funny guys.
Like it's really like everybody in the Arab speaking world is like, we cannot fucking understand Moroccans because they speak their own version of Arabic. It's hilarious. But the point is,
And my nephew married a Tunisian family.
Islamic culture is not compatible with Western culture. They are incompatible thought processes and morals and everything. Not saying they're wrong and we're right. I'm just saying they're fucking compatible. And the more they keep trying to shove them together, the more problems are going to come out of it.
Right. Well, I know in Egypt there was a story I read where like a dude essayed a woman and she complained about it. So the dude told the judge that he would buy her to be his wife. So then the judge had the dad of the woman set a price, and the rapist paid the price, and the woman he had raped become like his fourth wife.
Yeah.
And she had literally no say over any of it.
Yep.
She was just standing there.
Yeah, there was I think 2 years ago there was a shark attack at some tourist beach in Egypt, and they literally blamed it on Israel.
Those damn Israeli sharks.
They're like, oh, they're bringing sharks and putting electrodes in them, and like it's insane what goes on in these countries.
Meanwhile, Spielberg's sitting in the thing going, "It's working."
When you see the shark swimming and it's got the piums, like the hair things.
The Hasids.
Yeah, that's a Hasidic shark though.
The hat.
Yeah,
I came here to say America is the best soft rock band in America. That's that is so funny.
I do like America though, and I believe they did the soundtrack to The Last Unicorn, which was pretty badass.
All I'm gonna say is they've been through the desert on a horse with no name.
That's the only song by them I'm aware exists.
Brown Eyed Girl.
That's
Van Morrison.
Yeah,
that's Van Morrison.
Then
Sister Golden Hair.
Sister Golden Hair.
Oh, okay.
You can do magic. Remember that one? You can do anything.
And then the entire soundtrack for the Last Unicorn.
Never saw that.
Well, you should. It's good.
I don't like it. It's for girls.
Well, it's got unicorns.
Well, my vagina loved it.
So your vagina is big and stanky. So what are you gonna do about it?
I got a mangina.
You got a moose knuckle down there, son.
Hey, look,
Yeah.
have you ever been to a club where people wee on each other and drink Baileys out of a shoe?
Oh, when I was in basic training. There was this one kid. I think his name
I'm
was
old
Grant.
Greg.
He went to the TMC. He was always like complaining about something, and they put him on profile. And the doctor actually wrote on the profile to sand and pussy.
I'm sorry, what I was reading. What did you say? Say that again.
The doctor at the
That
True
is
Medical
great.
Center actually wrote on this. He put the kid on profile because he kept complaining. Oh, I'm in all his pain. He wrote reason for injury: sand and pussy.
That's basically saying somebody's a sissy ass
The
bitch.
malingerer. Yeah, it's.
I mean, if somebody
Holy
says,
diver.
Hold
Yep.
on here. I gotta get the mic muted. Oh God, which one do I push?
okay, come on, Boomer.
All right, there
Come
it
on,
is.
Boomer. Your sandy pussy showing.
All right, now I'm gonna change over to my goddamn. Oh yeah, I am booming around. That's what I do. That's
It,
we
it
go.
is
If you-
an army
if you-
thing
if you-
when somebody's
if you-
bitching to tell them to jump up and down and get the sand out of their vagina.
I swear to literal God, HD, if you ever watch any of my live streams, there will be at least one moment per game where I have to walk one of these fucking boomers through how to use online tools, such as web cameras. You know,
you
like,
should put a class on Teachable, and I'll watch it.
See, I'm a Luddite. I just don't understand how any of this works at all.
yes, thank
I
you.
just
Work
came
for
in
my
to say
daughter
hello,
teaching me
Generation
how
X.
these
Happy
things
Labor
work.
Day.
Yes, happy Labor Day.
Happy Labor Day.
Happy,
homie.
happy Socialism
And,
Day,
I hope you
everyone.
have a good time.
Is that what it is? Happy
Yes.
Socialism Day.
Labor Day exists because of the socialists. So,
Yeah, FDR, I think,
yep. Hi.
made it.
Remember
a
when
thing.
school used to start the Tuesday after Labor Day? Remember that's when it used to start? And now it starts in fucking August? Remember when they had the whole summer off and then we went back to school on
Yeah.
the day after Labor Day? When I was a kid, that's what we did. Now they start in like August 20th or some shit.
Because
like
they want to
that.
get you used to producing. Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Well, that's what
producing.
schools are for. They're to train you to be a factory worker.
Well, of course, because you get 2 15-minute breaks plus an hour for lunch, right?
Right.
They also get one in the stink and two in the pink. You know, I don't know why I did this, but I did this. There was a friend of mine that said he said,
on my Discord, Holy Diver, and it's another picture of Sweeney, and I even did at Holy Diver, and I was like, come on, admit it.
I don't really have disc. Okay, I'm a boomer. Somebody put a class up on Teachable and show me how to use Discord, please, because I suck at it.
"Good luck."
Usually somebody or you join a Discord and then they say, cool, you're in the Discord, and then you just run them up.
Yeah, you don't even answer your messages on Discord, James.
Dude, I answered the messages to you, I think, last night.
Did you? Because I don't see any notification from James. Let's see. What's the last message I have?
Yeah,
from
last night was
James?
his annual. I looked at my Discord message.
Yeah, exactly.
And this pisses the people on the marketplace I'm on off to no end. I only check. shit
Oh,
when I
I'm
show
sorry.
people.
I'm sorry. You thumbs up the message. So we'll call that an answer. Fucking, you're a fucking zoomer. You're not.
I agree with you.
You're a fucking
That is an
zoomer.
answer. If I'm being like, I totally agree, Bear, that's the answer. I
You're like
agree.
that fucking joke, which is I take a bath every March 21st, whether I need it or not. That's you answering your discords.
You know, in Finland, if
good.
you
I
take
got
a bath
that in
every
one
day, they
glue.
look at you weird.
Bam.
What's that?
Uh-oh. Where are you building today, Holy
I
Diver?
just finished a battle, a banner bearer for my piggy boys.
Nice. I have just primered. I don't know if you care or not. King Baldwin of Jerusalem,
Oh, that's cool. That's
and
cool.
I've got him on a horse.
the
too.
Leper King. Hell yeah.
The Leper King, yeah. Who was
Is it the
played
version
by the guy
from,
who played the main character in American History X?
Edward Norton.
and Fight
Ed
Club.
Norton.
He
Ed
is
Norton,
not
yeah.
credited in that role. He
He
wanted
didn't want to be.
Did they have to
Is it-
pay him if they don't credit him?
Yes. Is
I
that
don't know how that works.
yes, they do. I worked in the film industry. They have to, yes. He can just choose to not be credited. That's fine. What is that miniature of him from the movie Kingdom of Heaven, though?
It is a dude in chainmail with a mask and a hood.
Does
And
it
it-
look like the miniature? Does it look like
It
from the Kingdom
looks
of Heaven?
just like the guy from.
Beautiful, because that is one of the best costuming pieces I saw in years, man.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of that movie? I thought there was good parts
Director's
of it.
cut.
It-
Director's cut. Watch the director's cut. It's really good.
Yeah. There's some things I could have done about without, like, the Catholic priest being such a total dick.
Yeah, because the Catholics were so not dicks.
Well, not all. I
ever.
mean, look. You and I have talked about this, though. This weird freaking thing in gaming and everything, where the person that you would expect to be the good guy is the bad guy.
Yeah.
It's like the weird deconstruction of society, and I'm just over it. I mean, why does the priest always got to be the asshole? Let him be the good guy sometimes.
I can
Because
give
the
you a
high-
good answer to that. It comes from literature. Cardinal Richelieu and the Three Musketeers. But in real life, Cardinal Richelieu was set out there as a figurehead for Louis XIV as I'm going to make all the tough decisions. And if somebody's going to assassinate anybody, it's going to be the cardinal.
So here's the question: do I get to be the pedant who teaches you the proper pronunciation of Richelieu, or do I just leave it at Richelieu? Sorry.
Speaker.
I know
Can't
you're
help
up there
it.
From the,
Can't
from
help
the
it.
French Canadian frozen
Oh
tundra.
no, there's literally a town an hour from here called Richelieu. Like there's a town named after the fucker and a river named after him. Like trust me.
Pieces falling off.
He was a great villain in that book though, because he was like completely honorable.
Well, that's the whole point of Cardinal Richelieu is that he's
No
not
one can be
really
happy
a
if there's a
villain.
Francophile in
He's
the area.
just
He's an antagonist.
he's an antagonist, exactly. He's not a villain. He's doing what he has to do to save the fucking kingdom. You know what I mean?
It
Well,
was
the
his
Sun
job to
King
make
was
the tough
not a good guy.
decisions.
He's not a good guy. He's a piece of shit at the end of the day because he's willing to kill people and innocent people to get things done. He is
Yeah.
the walking, talking definition of lawful evil.
Yeah. And didn't he also, isn't he the one that literally caused the revolution by being such a dick to the people?
That is one of
He
the causes.
put one of the cogs in
Yeah.
the machine to get it going.
There's a lot that caused the French. By the way,
wait.
French revolutions with an S on the end because they were
Yeah,
both-
they love to.
Yeah.
They love
Another
to have
reason
revolutions.
was the guy who was supposed to be king before Louis the 16th. The 16th was not ever supposed to be the king. It was supposed to be his brother. And I don't remember his brother's name,
Well, it would have been Louis if he'd become king.
Yeah.
but it was
You know.
it was not supposed to be the one who got in as the 16th and married Marie Antoinette.
I found out something interesting the other day. Before what's her name was allowed to marry King Charles, she had to have a hysterectomy
Who Camilla
because
Bose?
the Queen demanded it.
The current King Charles? Camilla. So Lady Camilla.
Yeah, Camilla. And the
Really?
reason is because the Queen Mom's husband had an affair with the person who may have been Camilla's mom, which means Camilla and Charles are like first cousins.
Oh, like that's never happened.
Sounds
Isn't it a
about
little
how
late
you're
in the
royalty.
game to be worried
Haven't
about
you
the
seen
inbreeding in the
those?
royal family?
They are some ugly deliverance looking.
Why do you think they brought in Lady Di? Why do you think Diana was brought in? Because of her
Yeah, wasn't
family.
she in Canada or something?
Well, no, but look at her family lineage, right? So she's Spencer, which is Sinclair, right? So it's since the War of the Roses, you've had the split of the bloodlines, right? So her son is the first reuniting of the two bloodlines that split in the War of the Roses. That's the point of that whole marriage, to bring back some genetic diversity into this fucking Habsburg bullshit. You know what I mean?
They're not Habsburgs. They're related.
No, but
They're the Tepish family.
you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
You got to get me a microphone set up. So yeah, put that class on Web Tools up on Teachable, and I'll watch it. Seriously, I can't. I'm getting a new computer, so knock on wood there. I've got to learn how to use Linux, and so I'm probably going to be down for a little while
Wow, Linux.
because I am not making the switch to Windows 11.
No shit.
Linux. I
Yeah,
thought
I'm not
only
happy with it.
super villains use Linux.
Well, I guess I'm gonna. When have I ever been good? I can tell you now that I worked my ass off all weekend to make 3 of the Monster Fest 2025 openings, put them up on Patreon. One has a copyright strike on it for using a trailer of a movie. The other one is listed for 18 and up, and it's got no nudity, no bad. I think I might drop the F-bomb once, and it's just rated 18 and up.
You know what I found out recently, Holy Diver, that was really exciting? And I think Bear told me this, that if you go on the internet and you look, you can see Elvira naked.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, Cassandra Peterson. She posted.
Yeah, I
it
had
doesn't-
no idea.
It's Cassandra Peterson, but as Elvira, they wanted her to do a spread, and she never did the spread, even though she got like a $6 million offer between Penthouse and Playboy.
Yeah. You'll find her as herself when she was a redhead. Absolutely. You will never find her doing it as Elvira. She kept that.
Did that. Well, this is back when you could do a little bit of pornography, make a little bit of money, get through to the next year, which she did, because then I think shortly after she became a groundling, landed that show, as the horror hostess, and then at least started being able to feed herself. This back then happened all the time. Some girl does a couple of movies, you can call them whatever you want. Tarzan X, which is a real movie, by the way, but they do a couple of movies, and then years later they get cast on a soap, and then like midway through the 2010s, they find out that Nurse Ratched on whatever hospital soap opera has done a nude spread in this, has done an X-rated film, and they're already on their way to retirement. Now you can't hide it,
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's very fair. Though that said, Nurse Ratched, I would not want to see a nude scene.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can't think of
I don't want to see Kai Wynn's titties. Thank you.
No, I can't think of a good what do you call it, name for a nurse on General Hospital. That's all. So I chose
fucking
Ratched.
Nurse Throaty McFuck-a-lot, whatever. My mother watched that show. I had to sit through that shit all through my high school days.
But you get a gig where you're credited, you're there every day as the receptionist, and they start to give you lines. Then you become a reoccurring character, and before you know it, you've been on the soap 20 years.
Yep.
And before you notice, people notice you dress up like the Queen of Darkness and you've got huge knockers.
And then late in life, to reestablish your relevancy, you're suddenly a lesbian and you're culturally relevant.
I don't get that at all. Like I said, she did that for attention, but I don't see the point. Like, you trashed a marriage, you have 2 kids with a man. You're clearly not gay.
She has 1 kid.
She has 1 kid.
Women
Well, according to her Wikipedia entry, she has 1 kid.
I think she has a son and she doesn't talk about
this
him.
Could be pretty. This could be a hot take, but I think a lot of women are just a lot more flexible about it.
Always have been, always will be.
Because
it goes back to ancient Greek myth, for fuck's sake.
If a man's going to be gay, you got to be committed. Because somebody's
you got to be gay,
right? Because somebody's going to stick something somewhere in you,
as we have discussed, James.
Situation there, right?
Like Jeremy from the Quartering.
So I have a very good friend. Her and her ex-husband, when they were together, were swingers. And she said to me one day, "Do you know how many straight men sucked my husband's cock so they could fuck me?" To which I went, "None." She said, "No, there were many." And I went, "No, because if they were willing to suck your husband's cock, they weren't straight. They were at the very least bisexual. Stop your nonsense." That's why all my gay friends are like, all my gay friends, we love turning out straight boys. They're not straight boys. They're at least bi-curious. Stop your bullshit. Straight
and
people
also,
don't want
I'm
to
not a
fuck
big
you.
fan of how arrogant she is.
Wow.
Saying shit like that. Like, get out. Get over yourself.
Women, dude. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. You think you're so hot, you're turning dudes gay. Get out.
Nelly Furtado got thick. Ugh. Could we fucking deport her to the U.S., please?
I don't even know who Nelly Furtado is.
She's a singer. I'm like a bird. I'm a fly away. Back in the early 2000s, and she's Canadian, and she's an arrogant bitch. Like, super arrogant. And yeah, she did get thick. Yeah, look at her. She's a fatty now.
Oh, that's all they do. Yeah.
Okay.
They call it pulling the pin on the fat grenade.
Oh my God, the Hindustani Times took a shot at her. Hang on, James. I'm going to share a picture with you. Oh my God. This is from the Hindustani Times. This is so mean. I fucking love it. There you go.
Fucking
I
India.
fucking love this. India is so savage, I swear. Like,
Oh
how mean
God!
is
How do you
that?
go from that to that? Like, what the hell?
But it's so mean to put that on your fucking newspaper. Like, Jesus Christ.
Have
No,
you
she
listened
pulled
to
the
the
pin.
Hindu
She decided
Times on
sandwiches
YouTube?
were more important than men.
Yeah, Loved by the Sun. Yeah, if you ever listen to like the Hindustan Times or whatever on YouTube, them dudes are wild, man. I mean, they say some crazy shit, and you're just like when them in Pakistan were beefing. I was watching the Hindi news thing, and they were talking all kinds of mad ass shit. It's like, oh my God, they're getting ready to genocide each other. They're the same people, they just don't have the same religion.
What's up, buddy?
So
And none
Yeah,
of them
don't ever
take
say that.
showers. Have you seen that? Oh, that's Hungar. You're not on Instagram, are you? Me and Hungar keep sharing this one of this Indian dude tied to a chair by his dad, and he gets the mop bucket out and puts a broom in there, and there's all this soapy water going out, and the guy starts turning white as he scrubs him with the water. And there's another one where he's like, the judge bangs his gavel. I sentence you to a 15-minute shower. And he's like, no, with a head wobble.
that's pretty crazy.
15-minute shower.
I mean, I know that there was a video on YouTube. I haven't watched it, but I saw it. And it was about how a lot of people in the world are starting to absolutely hate Indians.
Yeah.
And India.
Welcome to my
And
country.
it's like a weird thing because I guess I don't know what the Indians are doing, but they're making a lot of people hate them.
So what's happening in Canada is we have this thing called temporary work visas, and 15 years ago, it accounted for maybe 4% of our entire workforce that took advantage of it. But under the Trudeau government, they swelled it up to over 40% now. So basically, they bring in Indian workers who are here on temporary visas, taking jobs that would normally be going to teenagers or seniors looking to make a little extra money, working at restaurants, what have you. And these guys are not learning anything about Canada. Many of them speak horrible English. They Tim Hortons, our beloved Tim Hortons, tons of stores have been getting hit for health violations ever since this started happening. You go to almost any Tim Hortons in Ontario, and it's massively in the cities, all Indian workers in it and stuff like that. There's a girl who's related to my buddy's wife here in Quebec. She owns 2 Tim Hortons up in the northern part of Quebec. She took advantage of it and figured out it was cheaper to buy an apartment building to house all of her temporary workers than to pay them a higher wage so they could rent places. So she just includes room as part of their life, right? So she just gives them a place to live. They're living like 6 and 8 to a 2-bedroom apartment. Dude, there's Reddit threads about what's going on in Toronto. It's crazy.
Aren't they getting government services like food stamps and living expenses too?
No, that's for the migrants. That's not for the temporary workers. That's for the refugees.
I know
That's a
down
different
here
deal.
the H-1Bs are getting transportation, housing, and what do you call that? Food assistance. So they have no trouble working in the tech industry for $11 an hour.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I live in the state where, our governor's just like, F it, throw everybody out.
You live in the state where air is wet. What do you want about?
That's
He
true.
lives in the
That's
state where
100%
they got
true.
where that Indian dude crashed a truck and killed some Haitians. I mean, okay.
Where was
did-
that? Was that it? Was that in India? It was
That
in
was
Florida?
California.
It was an Indian who did it, and it was in Florida. But the guy fled to California because he knew it was a sanctuary state. And the lieutenant governor and some I guess you would call them not federal agents, FBI adjacent cops went with him.
Florida
to
State
expedite him
Troopers.
back. What are they called?
Florida State Troopers. They
State
work directly
Troopers.
for the governor.
Yeah, they went there and brought the guy back, and he's going to stand trial. And then 2 million Indians signed a petition. Oh, we need to be merciful on this poor man. I'm like, that shit. If we
He
get these,
was a Sikh guy, but he speaks 0 English and can't even read road signs. And then I saw an expose, the wife and I was watching it, on how they did their thing, is they go in with this harness under their shirt that has like a camera on it. like a phone, and they put an earpiece in. And when they sit down in front of the computer to take the CDL test, they open the button so the phone can see the screen. And there's someone in the parking lot on the other end of the phone translating everything.
Yeah, giving them
And
the
telling them what
answers.
the answers are.
So that's the and that's going on in like California. Only in a Democrat state could you get that CDL. But the problem, the good thing about this is I'm glad it's coming out in the trucking industry, because that means that my wages are going to go up, and we get some of these bums, and they are bums, off of the frickin' road. The
Well,
problem,
basically anyone who works for Swift.
Knight Swift owns a lot of trucks. CR England owns a lot of trucks. I can't remember. Pride is another big one. And they're the ones who disseminated this propaganda with their lobby money to say, oh, there's a trucker shortage. Please, we need these foreigners to come in, because they've been trying to break they have, for the most part, broke independently owned trucks by independent individuals forever. Right. And that's why you're lucky if you get a load going. I mean, I see signs all the time. Well, we pay our drivers 68 cents a mile. Like, fuck you.
I remember when I got my CDL.
I have no frame of reference on that, Holy Diver. What is it?
So if you own your own truck,
yeah,
that is bad. That is a really, really bad load. A company guy, first time on the road, it's not terrible, but the problem is you're leasing that truck from the company. So you owe your soul to the company store. You're not making shit.
Yeah.
You're living on the
and
if
road. If it's your personal truck, you're not going to be able to pay your insurance and fuel with that.
No, insurance and fuel are egregious. Even if I owned a dump truck, you have to pay cargo insurance now, which is bullshit, because you didn't have to do that for aggregate about 5 years ago.
Right. See, I was lucky. I got CDLB, and I had to get a tanker license and a hazmat license. But Hungar went the whole way and got the CDLA. All a CDLB means really is you can drive trucks with air brakes.
Actually, you can drive a truck up to 80,000 pounds with a trailer that does not exceed, I believe it's 26.
Well, I never pulled a trailer. I drove a fire truck sometimes. And that's why you have to have the tanker thing, because our trucks have baffles in them. But if you're driving a truck and it's got like a 500-gallon tank in it and you're not paying attention, that water, the momentum of that water can really F you right up. And ours were Pierce, so you sit actually in front of the engine. So it's kind of crazy. You could lean forward and look down and see the road, and the front whip tires are behind you. So when you turn, instead of turning like in a car, it feels like you're just sitting there and the thing's just kind of rotating. Pretty crazy. But honestly, I spent 99% of my time driving the Rescue, which is basically an F-250 with the box on the back.
What Coco's talking about, by the way, guys, the Humboldt Broncos brush crash was a crash that happened here in Canada in 2016, where a Sikh driver who had 16 counts of dangerous driving already on his record ran into a team bus of a high school hockey team and killed 16 of the people in that crash, and 13 went to the hospital.
And he didn't he didn't get deported?
Well, he was a Canadian citizen. In early 2019, Sidhu pleaded guilty to charges and was sentenced to 8 years in prison. Sidhu, an immigrant from India, plans to appeal deportation from Canada if he's granted parole. Oh, so maybe he's only on his permanent residency.
So I take it back. Canada does kick America's ass at some things.
That also, no.
All I know is, like, earlier on, I was never like scared of truck drivers on the highway. I'm terrified of being even near
the ones
now.
Hungar said he really hated because
seen,
he
like,
did
over the last 10,
over-the-road
15
trucking.
years.
So from Florida to California to New York to Florida, like a big triangle.
Yeah.
He said he hated the skinnies, as he called them, which is Somalis, because they were just the worst, But I mean, I don't know. Okay, I drove lights and sirens very fast through towns, but it was generally like from a place to a hospital. So I don't know shit about CDL stuff really, like the actual over the road stuff. What do I know about? Nothing at all.
Okay,
But
so in May,
I can tell you all about it because I mean,
hang on. In May, they issued a deportation order for him, and his PR, his permanent residence in Canada, was revoked, but he's still not deported. He's still
I know
sitting.
the one that killed people.
This
in
has become a
Florida.
problem later because a lot of the Sikhs in Canada probably either gave service in the First or Second World War, and it's like, what, you didn't lose your family ties after that? You had to bring the whole family afterwards?
So we have the largest Sikh population in the world outside of India, in Canada, and I spent 9 years with a Sikh girl, and they are wonderful fucking people, and they are very, very generous. They have huge hearts and amazing. The problem is that the people that are coming over are not. So in the last 20 years of Canadian immigration, there's been this absolute fucking allergy to the idea of acclimatizing people to Canadian values, right? Like it's considered racist now. And when I was teaching, all of my students, for the most part, were new Canadians. And I would take time to explain shit to them how things work in Canada so that they could have an easier time and not get into, fights in Walmart because they broke some unspoken Canadian politeness rule or something. And this one Russian girl came to me after and she said, "Thank you for doing this." I said, "Why?" She goes, "Because all they gave a fuck about when I got here was how much money I had in my bank account. They didn't teach me anything about what it meant to be in Canada, about lining up for the bus, about this, about that." She goes, "None of that. Just how much money do you have in your bank account? Okay, cool. So now we know you won't be a burden on our society."
Well, luckily Russians tend to be pretty polite anyway.
Yeah, well, that's true. But this is the problem we have, right? Which is basically we've developed a system where we refuse to for some reason when you guys get involved, we're like, "Oh, we're fucking Canadian. We have values and pride, and fuck you, Canada." And then the minute we talk about new Canadians coming in, we're like, "Well, we can't force them to adapt to our ways, eh? We have to be completely respectable of their bullshit." Like,
That A was very Mackenzie Brothers, by the way.
Yeah, he does that. Oh, dude, Bear.
Canadian. Yes.
Yeah, Bear is Canadian. You got to do my favorite impression for Holy Diver.
Is
Which
it a
one?
Mackenzie brother?
You know the one, Bear.
No,
that
tell me,
love
dude.
so-
I don't remember. Just tell me, and I'll do it.
I live in the Baja.
Oh, so what he likes is that when I talk like Jesse Ventura, I live in the Baja. I was a Navy SEAL, and I was the governor of Minnesota. Jesse the Thinker. That's who I was. I invented peanut butter and Coca-Cola. Aliens live inside my sphincter, but I think life is much better. So yeah. Yeah, that's what you love. I thought you loved my Trump as the Emperor of Dune. I always thought that was your favorite one.
That's a good one too. But
Fade Routha. It's a bad guy. That's what I hear. Says he's gonna kill me. Died like a dog on the floor. We're gonna. The spice is gonna flow, baby. Flow, baby, flow.
Gonna build a wall, a shield wall.
It's a shield wall. It's a big wall. The Fremen are going to pay for it.
I think the reason I like your Jesse Ventura so much, though, is I love Predator. I think it's my favorite action film of all time.
That's a good one.
But I also love The Running Man.
Yes.
And Jesse's in that one too, and it's just like, oh my God.
Turn you into a sexual tyrannosaurus.
Oh,
just
I love
like
that
me.
shit, man.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate he died so early, but because you made me look into it, I found out that
Ventura's still alive.
No, in the movie Predator.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is the one who trained them all on how to use their weapons.
Yeah, and they wanted
supposed to carry the big
the 30 millimeter. Yeah, he's supposed to have the 30 mil, but
he didn't want to. So Jesse said, "I'll carry that bitch."
I can't carry that gun. It's too big. It'd make my arms look puny.
Yeah, right. I mean,
Dylan, you son of a bitch.
that hand clap is such a meme. Like,
oh
on
my God,
Twitter.
eh?
It's like everything. It's like the hands clapping.
I like the one when the meme
guy,
where they cut
black
it.
guy,
I like where they cut it together is when they clap hands and they immediately cut to a nuclear explosion. Like, that's my favorite one. It was just like, that's awesome.
Now, getting back to Canadian problems.
Okay.
Graham, who is a guy who joins my channel occasionally, also known as COD, expert or whatever, lives in India. And he said that a lot of the Sikhs that are going to Canada are part of some kind of Punjabi separatist movement.
It's the Khalistani movement.
And that they cause trouble in Canada because they do crimes and stuff to make money to send back to the terrorists in Punjab.
Yep. And that's all happening mostly in Vancouver, but yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Is it true about the Chinese road signs in Vancouver?
Oh, it's okay. There's a part of Vancouver called Punjabi Town where the road signs are in English and Punjabi. You have to understand. Look, I'm going to use my hands to explain to you. Okay, look. This is the population of Vancouver. This is Chinese. This is Sikh. This is everyone else. This little tiny hole. Okay, and I lived there for 8 years. The one good thing about Chinese living in a city full of Chinese people, they want nothing to do with you, Round Eye. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to deal with you. They don't want to look at you. So when you have Chinese neighbors in your neighborhood, like you're Chinese, they leave you the fuck alone. You don't have any drama. You don't have any bullshit. It's a safe neighborhood. It's wonderful. I think Chinese are fantastic fucking people to have around. Now, conversely, Surrey, which is a part of Vancouver that used to be the white trash part of Vancouver, is now completely Sikh. And they have organized crime, they have gang wars, they have all the other bullshit because it's a macho culture. Sikhs are macho. So look at anywhere in the world where you have macho cultures, right? So Sikhs, most of the Middle Eastern world is pretty macho culture.
Because I thought part of the Sikh religion was protecting people weaker than you.
Okay, James, you know damn well what's said on paper versus what happens in real life is very, very different.
Fair enough. So
you have this problem there with this happening. So when I was doing security in Vancouver, which they nicknamed Security because it's mostly old Sikh guys doing it. I was gold. No, I was gold. Every company I worked for loved me because I was a white guy who could speak English and was willing to work graveyard shifts. Are you kidding me? I got whatever I wanted every time. And I want a weekend off. Okay, here you go. Because they didn't want to lose me because I was as good as gold because of how the. Now think about that. You got a bunch of guys who are in that community working security who may or may not have connections to organized crime or their families are easily threatened by organized crime. So how good do you think the security is going to be at that point in time? Right.
And they also might be associated with terrorists.
That's what I'm talking about, right? So that's the problem you have. So I knew these two guys. Well, I knew one guy I went to high school with. I never met his brother, but they decided they were going to run. They moved up to Vancouver, and they were running prostitutes. Okay, and the Sikhs that were running prostitutes came to them and said, "You're not running prostitutes in this territory anymore, and if you keep doing it, you're going to get fucked, and that's it." And they ignored them. And then one day, his brother's body was thrown out of a moving van in the middle of traffic, and he packed up and left Vancouver.
Yeah, that'd do it.
I have a guy that I follow who lives in Japan. He's from Canada. Have you ever heard of JVC Paints?
I know the name vaguely.
Oh, all right. You can check out his channel on YouTube. Really good guy. I'm going to see him when I go to Japan. And he just goes off. He did a live rant about Olivia Chow, and his video got taken down while he was just sitting there painting live because I always send him these meme videos they make of Olivia Chow. So Toronto, I'm going to get all the Indian people to put the turmeric powder on the snow to melt the snow.
Yeah.
So how did she get elected? That's all I want to know.
Chinese community, the Liberals. So one of the big things that happens in Canada now is block voting, where basically China has figured China not sending their best. The China has basically figured out how to influence the Chinese community here through robocalls and fake police stations, which we are aware of. And then they basically convince Chinese communities to vote as a bloc for what they want.
Happy
right?
Labor Day.
So that's how Olivia Chow. That's how a lot of ministers of parliament. There's a shit ton of Chinese interference in Canadian elections at all levels.
Oatmeal cookies are good.
Sounds about right.
Huh. Well, my wife is making me some cranberry oatmeal cookies. Awesome.
Hey, Cody.
Cody, what is up, homie? Yeah, I don't know what's going on in Europe. It's like the leader of every European country is not actually ethnically from that country. It's like Ireland.
Have you seen what's happening in Indonesia?
Huh?
Have you seen what's happening in Indonesia?
No.
That fucking country's on fire. There was a protest. A delivery rider was cutting through the protest on his moped to go deliver his shit, and a police fucking armored vehicle ran him over and killed him, and it's on video. And the Indonesians have now officially lost their shit and are burning everything in sight and rioting.
And you know what? The thing about Indonesia is they are a shit ton of those guys. Like, it's the highest populated Islamic country in the world. Like, they hundreds and hundreds of millions in Indonesia. So,
Hey, Shark.
installed by bankers at James right off. Yeah. I get what you're saying, Off Grid, but it's like when Dark Knight of Hibernia would come on, and I'd be like, "You dudes fought 300 years to kick the British out, and then elected a Pakistani guy to be your president." I was like, "How's that work?" I mean, it seems like, why even fight the British off if you're just gonna, import a bunch of, people in to take your spot?
When I used to work in news radio, when I would finish my shift after midnight public transit, I didn't have enough time to get there to get home. So I would call a cab, and I got this one cab driver who was Lebanese Christian, and he and I became friends, and he gave me his cell phone number. So I would just call him. And if he was unavailable to come pick me up, he'd get one of his friends to come. And we always had a flat rate deal to get me to my house. We would always talk.
Right.
And I asked him one time, I said, you're Lebanese Christian. I said, so who are you more upset with? This was like in 2001, 2002. I'm like, who are you, like Jews or Muslims? He goes, fucking Muslims. And I'm like, what? He goes, we were a great country, Lebanon. No one fuck with us. We get along good with Israel. Then those fuckers attack Israel from our country and Israel invades. Fuck them. And I'm like, okay, all right, good. Yeah. And he goes, but you don't understand. It's happening to you too. They come. They breed, they wait 2 generations, then they take over your fucking government. And I laughed him off at the time. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever, fucking Lebanese guy, crazy shit. And now I'm watching it play out in real time in front of me, where the Canadian government is being taken over.
We got Lebanese down here.
But it's the idea, not just, it's the breeding. We're talking about the population crisis in North America. It ain't.
Well, demographics is the future. Yeah. I mean, if you have one kid and they have 8, you don't have to fight a war. You just got to wait a couple generations.
And that's what's happening in North America. You fucking rednecks didn't breed fast enough.
Hey, my daughter is doing her best. 5, maybe 6.
Yeah, but she can't carry everything, man.
And the other daughter of mine is on 2, and she swore up and down she'd never get married.
Oh my God.
And have babies. Now she's on 2 and may have 3. So we're doing our best. As hillbillies, we are definitely doing.
All right, you gotta.
I'm doing my best. I dated a woman for 50 days, and then I asked, "Hey, you want to go a movie?" She's like, "Yeah." And I buy the ticket in front of her. Day of the movie comes, no call, no show. Never heard from her again. There you go. And she was 27 years old. That's the quality of women in the United States. Is like you can't do better than me. I've got the money. I've got the 2 houses in the garage. And
you know what you ain't got though?
No, I got plenty from her. That was, but like, hey, let's go on a proper date kind of guy. And no, that turns him off. I have to just habitually be the piece of shit Chad or something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, welcome.
Your problem, Holy Diver, is that you're not 6'2".
Oh, yes, that's true. Yes.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'9".
Yeah, listen, I saw a fantastic video the other day.
We call pocket Hercules.
Okay, well, listen, I saw a great video the other day. It was one of these on the street dating videos talking to club girls. And the guy's like asking this girl, like, because there's a good looking guy. She says, he's handsome. He goes, great. How tall do you think she is? And she goes, I don't know. He looks 6 foot. And here's the microphone. The guy's like, I'm 5'9". because most of these girls are 5'3" and 5'4". They don't know what the fuck 6 foot looks like. I'm 6'3".
The one I
I-
saw
I
I'm
was
will tell you-
hilarious.
6'3".
I
My
will tell you
girlfriend
now
in
that
college.
women-
Hang on. I'm 6'3". My girlfriend in college was 5'3", and fucking her felt like a Saint Bernard mounting a Chihuahua. Okay, it was not a comfortable experience. I'm telling you right now. Now go ahead, HD.
No,
Well-
women are very terrible at gauging distances.
Well, it's because they've been told this is 12 inches all their lives.
See, that's the kind of TOS thing that we don't need on this platform.
It's pretty hilarious. This stream has been going long enough that we could basically just do anything we want now.
Well,
They only pay
I just wanted to
attention
come
like
and
the
say
first
hi,
20 minutes.
and that's it, and say happy
And
Labor
now-
Day. I knew you were on. I'm like, ooh, maybe James is still on, and I can go say hi to Gen X and see what they're up to. I've got to go watch that Conan thing that Shadow put out and everything like that.
I'm scared to watch it
Well,
because
I
it's
am
Shadow.
repairing.
I love Shadow, but
I am
man,
repairing.
sometimes Shadow
What
might
is
do.
that? The ship.
That is an 80s lead cast Star Frontiers
Oh,
battleship.
nice.
Star Frontiers battle. That's pretty cool. What is that? That big yellow and black thing has been there forever. What are you doing with that?
That's a Starship in 28 millimeter, and it breaks apart by deck. It has, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 decks.
Okay.
So, like, if I were playing a sci-fi game with the group, if this were their ship, we could pop it apart and see where people are on each deck.
Fair enough.
And of course, it's got like, ladders and it's lifts and, and there's also on the other side, there's an airlock and these here, that's where I can attach like PDF weapons and things like that, which are just like chain guns that pop out and fire at incoming missiles.
I will off grid. I'll say hey to James when I'm in the what do you call it? Sushi land. They all call it Disneyland. I don't know. I have a feeling that like Japan is a very strict country, and I got to be careful. Like if I am at a train station and I sneeze over my left shoulder at precisely 2:00, somehow that offends the emperor, and my punishment will be 50 canings.
That's Singapore.
You notice
Yeah,
how they
they'll
don't have
just beat
crime in
your ass.
Singapore. I am in favor of getting rid of all the lower court bullshit. Like, so when somebody's caught shoplifting, you go to your trial, you're convicted. That's it. There's no like, and then they beat your ass with bamboo. End of story for the first offense. And let's say you get caught. What's another thing that what's another petty crime? Okay. Common mutual combat. Each of you get 10 bamboo lashes and they send you on your way. They administer the 10 lashes right then and there for bar fighting.
Well, yeah, that's like Starship Troopers. For anything short of like a capital crime, you just gotta whip it.
Yeah.
Whip it good.
Because people will
But if
remember
you-
that ass.
But if you
whooping.
did any rapage or murder,
So if you're in like one of those Nordstrom's flash mobs and they catch you, you're gonna get like 50 canings and they're gonna televise that ass whooping.
yeah, you gonna
And
get
then-
a whooping.
And they're gonna say, and they'll take bets on the Kunta Kinte meter. That'll be
Like-
Vegas odds right there.
It'll be like those old Bugs Bunny movies where he's all like, "If I doed it, I get a spanking. I doed it," and he's like, fucking running around being a
Anyway,
menace.
have a happy Labor Day, gentlemen.
Be good.
You are.
You too. Nothing but the best. Drive safe. Don't get ran over by any,
Oh, God. Yeah.
bad drivers.
Yeah, it's hopefully it's going to get better, and hopefully they tamp down on this real quick, and some people get outed, and you got a lot of empty trucks, and then Night Swift or some of these companies they'll have to sell assets, which will be really good for the common man.
Well, just remember one thing, HD. Never drive faster than you can see.
Oh, I never do.
Yeah.
Like I told my ex-wife,
And
I never
besides
drive
that,
faster than I can
it's
see.
all
Besides that, it's all in the reflexes. Over and out, gentlemen.
There you
Bye-bye.
go. There you go. Yep. And yeah. HD dropping in to say hi to Angry Game Nerd.
Yeah, been a long time since I've seen him actually.
I think he does a show on like Saturday morning because he is on the West Coast
okay.
somewhere. Well, I mean, he's in Utah, so I think that counts as the West Coast. It's out west. He's out west. I think actually that would count as a mountain state. But
Yeah, it's
whatever.
on this side of the Rockies, so just west.
Right. But
With that geography lesson, I got to bounce, boys. I
I got to
start.
take off myself. I got writing to do.
Well, that's good because now I have an excuse to get offline. And
Wait, hang on. Hey, I got to do it the right way. I'm so sorry. I apologize for not doing it the right way. All right, I gotta go.
Ah!
Bye.
Later, everybody.
later. At least he stuck around to explain what was going on. Usually that's like, oh, I gotta go. Click. Just gone. It's like, damn, dude. That dude just vanished from nowhere. I am currently painting up a Pharaoh figure. I don't know exactly where I got it from, but I'm thinking that it would make a really good villain or superhero. You know what I mean? Like, you could have a superhero who knows magic or something, and you could call him the Pharaoh. Or he could be a supervillain that knows magic, and you could call him the Pharaoh. Also, this guy could be a villain in a superhero game. His name is Vlad Tepes Dracula. So, you know, I need to put the blood red, you know, speed paint on him, but there's no reason he couldn't show up in a superhero game. I mean, Dracula is in the role-playing book. So, yeah. So, there you go. Yeah, Utah's mountain. Hey, Shark. Damn, I didn't even see Shark come in. So says Serpentor. You know, there's a guy online I talked to, and he sells very cheap Cobra miniatures, like Cobra soldiers, Cobra commander, Cobra the King Cobra guy, Zartan, the freaking chick that I always thought was hot. But then again, I like dark-haired women with glasses that got that librarian look. Like the whole G.I. Joe thing. He sells 32 millimeter miniatures for all of them. And I think that's kind of badass, really, you know. But anywho, let me get out of here. Happy Monday, happy Labor Day. For gaming, just so you know, I am, while I'm working on starships and stuff like that, we are building characters for the Marvel role-playing game, the 6161. Well, the 6161, which means you roll 3 die and one of them's a Marvel die and whatever. So, you know, it looks like a really simple game to play. And when in doubt, I'll just have, you know, the Juggernaut like kick in their front door and start wrecking shit. So, you know, they'll be all right. Or I could go like crazy style and have this guy show up and just start wrecking all their shit. That's the Homelander. Just have him show up and start laser eyeing all their characters to death. But the other thing I've been building this whole time, I will show you before I get off, is a Vrusk scientist, because one of the players requested I build a Vrusk miniature in case at some point we play Star Frontiers, which has been a request from my players, you know, a little Star Frontiers. So, so there's a Vrusk for her. and I've got some Dralocytes and Yazarians as well. So, I mean, for humans, not a huge hero fan. I've never ran anything heroic. I don't like comics. I've never read comics. What I know about X-Men and shit like that is from watching the cartoons. But that's the game my wife picked. So if that's what she wants to play, I mean, that's what we're going to play. And she's still deciding on what kind of archetype character she wants to play. So we'll see, you know. Right now it's between Domino, Storm, Invisible Woman, and Rogue. Those are the ones that she's kind of deciding on which one she wants. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what she comes up with, and you know, and then I'll deal with it. But the game itself is really easy, I should say. You know, it's just roll versus target number, and then the Marvel die is what you use as a multiplier for damage. So I mean, it's pretty easy. And I don't know, maybe it'll be fun, you know, maybe, you know, well, Hungar, of course, made a character based on Florida Man. So, I mean, already you can tell how serious, you know, he is about it. But then the other guy, like I said, he made like some kind of Northeast Indian, but with the powers of Wolverine, but without the adamantium skeleton. So, I mean, that could be cool. And then, you know, one of the persons wants to play basically Deadpool. And that, of course, could be very chaotic and crazy. And they were going to call their superhero team the East Coast Avengers. But I told them they couldn't do that because Stark sent them a cease and desist and threatened to sue them. So they're not the East Coast Avengers. Now they're the East Coast Guardians. And they're probably good because, you know, no one else has that name. So they should be okay. They should be fine. And a lot of the characters I have, even though they're like known Marvel characters, I'm painting them up not like their Marvel characters are, because even though I'm letting characters pick archetypes from the books, they have to come up with their own background story and everything on, you know, who are they, right? So if my wife picks Storm, I have a Storm miniature, but she'll be white because my wife wants her character to be white with blonde hair. Because she's white with blonde hair, you know, so basically like that, you know. And then, of course, if somebody wants to get really crazy, they can play the Monarch. I mean, basically, this guy's been alive for like 200 years and he's fought in every American war. The U.S. military really likes him, but he was not a Project X guy. He just was born that way. So, yeah. And then, of course, the Florida Man story you've already heard. Hungar's mild-mannered Florida Man pulled a knife out of the skull of an alligator, and a cosmic entity showed up and granted him all kinds of superpowers. And he became the freaking essence of Florida. He is the Florida Man, which means he's strong, he's tough, he's fast, and he can fight. I should add, like, he gets +1 to fight if it's a Waffle House at 3 a.m., but I didn't. But that'd be pretty funny, wouldn't it? You know, like, okay, you're in the Waffle House at 3 a.m., you get a bonus to all your melee attacks. But no, we didn't do that. But his character, actually, which he made from scratch, is really good. I mean, he's super strong. He's super tough. He can fly really fast. And he's got some basic super strength powers and melee powers. So, he's pretty good at fist fighting, and he can use his super strength to like clobber or, knock people out and shit like that. So, yeah. And they're talking about setting their base of operations in Orlando. So, they're going to be the East Coast Guardians. And then I'll come up with some weird ass villains for them to fight against. I mean, I could always do some weird kind of mashup where, guys like this start coming through some kind of temporal gate and causing problem. Of course, if you don't know what that is, that's a Terminator type 600. And so they have to fight, whoever's sending these Terminators through. I mean, really, there's no limit to what I could do because it's a superhero thing. So if I want to have like a sorcerer summon a bunch of mythical creatures and sick them on the heroes or use them to attack people, I mean, you could do that. There's no reason you couldn't, right? So basically, it could start out as a superhero game, but almost like with Rift type qualities, because, if you've got, again, a sorcerer with the right powers, they can just summon shit into, our reality. And then it'll be up to the players to try to fix it, Like what happens if I just decide to throw a T-Rex on the table and say, the police scanner says there's a T-Rex in downtown Orlando eating people. And then they have to run down there to try to stop the T-Rex. Well, where did the T-Rex come from? Maybe some villain summoned the damn T-Rex. That's all I'm saying. With a superhero game, you can literally just do anything you want. Anything at all. They can fight space Nazis. They can fight other superheroes and villains and shit from other times and dimensions. And I mean, nothing has to make sense the way it would in a sci-fi or fantasy game like D&D or Traveler, where, things are supposed to actually have a logical component to them. But in a supers game, you probably got more freedom than even in a Rifts game, because like in the Marvel core book, they got rules for vampires and shit. So like literally you could spend a lot of your time tracking down and killing vampires. And that makes sense since Blade is in the book too. So you see what I mean? You could have a campaign like Blade where you're just running around Orlando and trying to put an end to vampires doing vampire shit or whatever. So in a way, it's very freeing, I guess I would say. Send Appalachian. Well, they'd have to go to Appalachia. And I've actually started writing, granted in Office, the adventure I've been talking about the cult of Shub-Niggurath in eastern Kentucky, and the hollers and the cannibals and all that shit. I've started actually putting that to paper, and I found at the area, which is near Hazard, and so I've been looking at Google Maps for little towns so that I won't call it the same town, but I'll call it whatever. Hey, Hungar. Sorry I didn't call you. I thought you'd be asleep. But I am just wrapping it up. But you know how us hillbillies are. It takes us 40 minutes to say goodbye. And my beautiful wife for Labor Day made us some delicious oatmeal cranberry or cran raisin, whatever, cookies, which when I was young, I was maybe not a huge fan of, but it's like the older I get, the more I like them. I don't know if that's an old man thing or what. You know what I mean? I've just hit an age to where just woke up. Yeah, I got up pretty early, laid in bed and stared at the ceiling for a while. Got up and hung out with the wife, talked about this and that, watched some news to see if England has blown itself up yet, and then came in here and started chatting. Yeah, I'm only on my second goodbye. I will tell you, it is a fact in Kentucky, when you say goodbye to somebody, half of the time they will follow you to your car talking about goodbye. The goodbye could literally last an hour. So, like, if you're ever in Eastern Kentucky talking to friends and you decide you have to leave at like 4 o'clock, tell whoever you're talking to you got to leave at 3. And in that way, you might actually be able to get out of there when you need to get out of there without, offending anybody, because that is just, I assume it's all over the South, but it is big time like that in Kentucky in the mountains. I mean, it's like, as a matter of fact, if they don't follow you to the car saying goodbye and waving at you the whole time you're driving down the road from their house, a person might start wondering if they like them or not, because again, Kentucky's weird. So, yeah. Might be like, I wonder if they actually like me, or are they just being polite? Because that's another thing we do in Kentucky. We be polite to people we don't like because, I don't know, we just do. Up really early with the wife. She went back on the road this morning. Oh, you missed it. Holy Diver was on, and we were talking about like truckers and CDLs and all kinds of stuff, man. You just missed him. And I was telling him how you had the CDL A and I had a B. But, they were complaining about all these people. I guess Bear said it's the same up in Canada, too. They're importing all these people from like countries and giving them CDLs. And the people don't even speak, the language or anything. And they're cruising around, getting in wrecks all the time. And, of course, because it's Canada, they don't want to do anything that could in any way be construed as like racist at all. Like, heaven forbid, right? So, yeah. But yeah, I'll stay on just a little bit longer since Hungar's on. Oh, Hungar, I built a new Thopter. So I delivered your Thopter back to your base full of fuel. And thank you so much for letting me use it. It was a lifesaver. But I had to, mine the materials and get the pumps and all the bullshit to build my own Thopter. So, yeah, Florida especially has been like, F you guys, right? And I forget the other southern state that's like randomly pulling truckers over and testing their ability to speak English. And if you can't, then they not only take you off the road, but they find the company you work for and shit like that. But anyway, guys, Hungar's here, so I'm gonna hang for just a minute while he's here because it's a big deal when my brother drops in. But when he gets tired and goes back to bed, then I know. Well, like I said, you really saved my ass because you know how it is when you get up to like the level we are, not being able to fly around places is like really weird after you've gotten so used to flying around places, it's like, damn, like what? I got to walk all the way across the erg. I don't want to do that. Too many worms, right? But I've been rating the Atreides. I've been rating the Atreides NPC fortress though, because that's where you get all of the military grade parts that you need.
Yeah, Arkansas has been pulling people over into the way stations, and if they can't pass English test for reading and writing, then they go to jail and pay $5,000 fine.
I mean,
And if the company knows that they're working there like that, the company gets $10,000 fine.
I mean, yeah, that shit. I mean, tractor trailers can weigh what? How many tons?
80.
So you got an 80-ton vehicle doing 65 miles an hour, and the guy behind the wheel does not know what traffic signs.
Yeah, with a 53-foot trailer. You know, it's a 20-foot.
That is not a good equation. Look at this nerdy.
Howdy.
Nerdy ogre. Been on 3 hours. You're finally going to drop in.
What's up, you dirty
Well,
goblin?
Well, I've been, you know, in and out kind of thing, and I don't even know how long I can hang on here.
He's been.
But
Well, we're not going to be on here very long. I just stayed on because Hungar popped in. So I mean, if my brother's going to pop in,
well, yeah,
I'll stay on a little while for him.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
he's special to me. But
Like a school bus? Like Florida Man special?
No, like very few people outrank you. One of them's my wife.
Did you tell him about my hero?
Maybe. Oh, I did, and they liked it. Maybe mom outranks you, but I'm not sure.
I was telling the wife about him last night because she was in bed with me when you sent the first message, make up a hero, and I sent in the old mutants from the villages, and she was laughing.
Luckily, healing factor protects you from all the STDs.
And then I told she was here when I told you.
Hold on 1 second. For those of you who are still watching and don't know, the Villages is an over 60 community in Florida, and also is the highest concentration of STDs in the United States. So those over 60s are just getting their freak on, not even giving a shit. And I understand it, because if you're 75 and you got congestive heart failure and you're probably going to die soon, AIDS really isn't scary.
Yeah, herpes, who cares? Go have it for life. But if life's only a few weeks, who gives a shit?
Exactly. It's like, oh, I got herpes. Well, I'm only going to live another 5 years. So, like, not really a big deal. Just take your Valtrex and keep on trucking, right?
They're popping Viagra and Cialis like they're Tic Tacs, drinking all.
Oh, I'll tell you what. When my wife, a long time ago, worked in the call center, their nickname for Friday was Viagra Friday. And they would get angry calls, not just from men, sometimes from women. If the Viagra did not show up in the mail, there would be hell to pay. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, hey, these people have been planning this key party all week. And now you tuck away the dude's ability to get an erection? That's kind of a letdown, right?
I would be upset.
It's not
Okay. I'm involved in a Nightbane game on Fridays, and it is
What's Nightbane?
Nightbane is a Palladium game.
Well, we do it's a Palladium game if you're talking about it, you goblin.
But essentially, what happened?
Palladium makes the game you love, Hungar, so chill out.
What happened was that there's what was called Dark Day, which for 24 hours there was no stars, no sun, no night sky, no light, you know, from nature, you know.
So Alaska.
Yep. Well, no stars, no aurora borealis, no stars, no starlight, no sunlight, nothing. Pitch dark.
Yeah, cloudy day in Alaska.
Pitch dark.
But anyway, go on. I'm
Pitch
sorry.
dark. All over the world, the entire world.
Great movie.
And and it only lasted for like 24 hours. What it was is there's this alternate dimension, Shadow World, Shadow Earth, and they basically invaded. It was basically an invasion of Earth,
Right.
and
As you do.
and they were able to infiltrate major countries. U.S. is one of them. There was like a third party. There's a third party that like nobody paid attention to, and they sent in like a doppelganger of their
So
candidate.
basically, they're financed by George Soros.
Yeah. And so, but on the what also happened was normal humans started turning into these monsters, and basically it's like things that would things that strongly affected you emotionally would start. It would be apparent physically. Like, say you were involved in a car wreck, and you were the only survivor. Like your whole family died. Your Morphus, which is what they would call it. Your human form is called the facade, and your monster form is called the Morphus. Where your Morphus form might have shards of glass and metal sticking out of your skin, things like that.
You know what that reminds me of a little bit?
Oh, I know you're going to say Nightbreed. Oh
no, 13 Ghosts. You remember in 13 Ghosts, the ghosts all like looked like whatever killed them?
I thought.
And they were based on the Zodiac. So you had like the young prince, and I guess he died somehow. And you had the Queen of Hearts had committed suicide, so she still had the. And she looked, and the madman whose head was in a box. And you had the one guy that had been hammered full of railroad spikes, Hoss?
Yeah.
Yeah, the big black guy. They murdered him by hammering railroad spikes in him. So his ghost was like a giant dude, and he had railroad spikes like in his head and stuff. Crazy shit. But anyway, go on.
And so, so like your monster form.
So it's basically a superhero.
Yeah,
game.
it's a superhero.
Some bullshit went down, and some people started developing superpowers.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it.
And so that's the general premise of Nightbane. And,
yeah, I like it.
And so our game is.
I'm not saying I'll join an online game, but I'm saying that sounds good. Actually, it sounds like a good game.
It is. I love it.
I like the setting. I would probably want to play a firefighter who had died in a fire.
Oh, but you don't die.
Or got really, really effed up in a fire.
Well,
so like my whatever was super burned up, but then my
your Morphus could look really burnt up, and you could have
and I might have some fire powers or something.
I mean, it's totally doable.
Like when I turn into the monster, I'm like completely surrounded by flames or something. Like I'm on fire, literally. That would be kind of cool. Not really kind of cool, but kind of cool. I mean, I don't want to belittle, anybody, burning up in a fire, but at the same time, it would be a kind of a cool origin.
Well, there are.
What's his name? The superhero Nick Cage played.
Knight Rider, not Knight Rider.
The Spirit of Vengeance. Do you know that's his actual name?
Spirit of Vengeance.
It's not Hell Rider or whatever. He is the Spirit of Vengeance, and his whole job is to capture demons that escape hell. Yeah, Ghost Rider. Yep, the Spirit of Vengeance. If a demon escapes hell, his job is to get him and send his ass back. And there's been many, many of them.
The Devil's Bounty Hunter.
Yep. And it's all with him. He was going to die, but he made a deal.
In the movie, it was his dad.
Had cancer or something, and he made the deal to save him, but in return, he had to become the spirit of vengeance. But anyway, it sounds to me like that's just a Palladium style superhero game with a really interesting twist because of the, interdimensional invasion / whatever your trauma is kind of what your superhero is going to be like. And I like it. I like it a lot. I think that sounds awesome.
Like I just the other day I decided to roll up a Nightbane character. Turns out his Morphus is a 4 foot tall chimpanzee. He has no skin on his torso, and his head is just a flaming skull. And he has a prehensile tail with a blade at the end.
That is a wild Amorphous. Yeah, I'm sitting here talking about just being a big human that's always on fire and running around. And you're a crazy chimpanzee with a tail.
And, about Amorphous, Metamorphosis.
Oh, a giant brain just hanging out in the middle of the ocean, sending bits of himself back in time, but he's unaware that it's him. That is a deep cut, bro. That's a very deep cut. Most people will have no idea what the hell you're.
Well, I figured in our group of friends online that some of them would get it.
Yeah, I'm just saying very few people are going to have any idea about that. It is a story by Isaac Asimov that was made into a animated movie by a French company where a creature they created and dumped in the ocean, in the far future, it starts sending like things back that are pretty much killing all of the people. But when he goes to the creature and asks why it's doing it, the creature has no idea what he's talking about because, of the whole time thing, right? So then the creature puts him like to sleep for 1,000 years because it would take that long for him to get weak enough that the hero could kill him. So, Shadow and Sun.
What up, Shadow?
What's up, Nerdy? What's up, How you guys
Holy Diver was just on saying he had to check out your Conan stuff.
I'm working on some Conan right now. Check this.
Well, I saw your premiere video when you had the Sumerian book and whatever.
Well, right now I'm actually working on a 1980s, the first the very first Conan officially licensed miniature by Heritage Models back in like 1980. This is actually a 52 millimeter scale. I need to glue in the sword, but then I've got him on I got him in 25 mil scale on a horse.
This is Conan from Monolith Miniatures.
I've been checking those out, but
there's a lot of different Conans. They've got like Conan the champion and Conan the general, but that's just Conan the barbarian. And he's just wearing furs.
I've also got
the
back in the old days, miniatures came out in blister packs. I've got the blister pack of all the different sorcerers. I think that's Thoth Amon, and
nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some of those up for Mini Warmutt's painting challenge. Started today, this morning, going on until the 30th. See how many minis you can paint.
Look at this.
Well, that's cool. Of Rusk.
Of Rusk.
I know my shit.
I know you know.
I've actually. Is that the Grenadier or is that a 3D print?
Well, it's metal first off, so not
Okay,
3D
Grenadier
print.
models.
There's a company out there called Eureka
Okay, I'm
Miniatures,
familiar with them.
and they have a thing called Simeon X. And you get a Rusk, a Drow-site, a shit ton of sci-fi weapons, and like a dozen Yazirians for
Really?
Captain Simeon.
You also get 3 little furry creatures that in Star Frontiers would be quick killers.
Okay. No Drax lights?
The monster quick killer. Yeah. You only get 1 Rusk though, but then again, they do have an option to order figures individually.
Okay. Do they have the little
number.
amoeba guys, the Drax lights?
Yeah, the Drow-sites. I actually ordered
Okay.
6 Drow-sites.
Yeah, the old Grenadier
Uh,
ones were tiny, so you could lose them, without even trying.
Yeah, they were true 25.
Yeah.
These guys are like 32s.
Okay, yeah. I'm working on
Um,
some 28 32s over here as well for the challenge. I'm working on this demon. Check this bad boy out. I haven't even put his head on or his wings. He's going to be about 8 inches tall when I'm done.
Damn.
I'm trying to keep it down to. Sorry, too close to the mic. I'm trying to keep it below 60 minis. I haven't painted one yet, but I got stuff assembled, primered. Right now, I'm filing off mold lines from these lead miniatures. They're pewter recasts because I know a guy. But yeah, I'm trying to keep it down so I can actually finish some stuff. But yeah, I saw you guys were still streaming after 3 hours. I figured I'd come in and bug you for a minute.
I was actually canceling the stream, but then Hungar showed up.
Every time I think of Drellisites, I think of Norm MacDonald from Don Moffat from The Orville.
I think of the Shmoo. You remember him?
Yeah, but
The Shmoo.
you've ever seen The Orville with Norm MacDonald's character Moffat?
No, I haven't.
Moffat's basically a slime Drow-site thing.
Okay, yeah, I figured. If you
Except it's Norm MacDonald.
Except it was the funniest man in history. So yeah,
And he's always trying to pick up like the doctor. And he's always telling her how he can find orifices in her that no one else can.
yeah, that's not necessarily a good thing.
It's pretty crazy. But he was an engineer on the ship, and one of the special things about him is if you needed to go into like enclosed spaces to work on shit, he could, because he could just just slide
Do the
on
Plastic
in,
Man thing?
and he could create as many limbs as he needed to do whatever he's doing. But it was Norm MacDonald, so he was always.
I didn't know he did. Was it like animated? I'm guessing.
Well, it's CGI, but the show itself is live action.
Oh, really?
It's the Star Trek that you wanted, but Star Trek never gave you.
Yeah, I've been.
Or
I'm not a huge Star Trek fan, but I have been kind of nostalgic or homesick for some Kirk and Spock. I picked up season 1 on DVD last week, and I was thinking of maybe watching some today, but I got suckered into working on miniatures instead.
I'll put you on to something that Mr. Driscoll put me on to, and that is Star Trek Continues.
Okay.
It's on YouTube, 12 episodes. It's Maglione or whatever, the guy that they tried to cancel that was the voice of one of the Dragon Ball Z characters. He's Kirk. The Asian guy from
Mythbusters.
Mythbusters is
Didn't
Sulu.
he pass away?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yes. The son of Scotty is Scotty.
Huh. Nice.
And then they got, it's like all old school Star Wars.
Star Trek.
Or Star Trek.
Okay.
The only addition is they added a ship psychologist who is a redhead that wears her hair up in a bun and has massive jugs. Exactly.
I got this and a tricorder with my DVD box set of season 1 of the original series. $15 plus shipping.
I'm getting ready to buy a Star Trek uniform for me and the boys,
Nice.
and some tricorders and shit, because they're having a Renaissance fair here in town in a few months.
Yes. Beam in.
Show up to the Renaissance Fair to look at all the primitives.
Yep, that's awesome. I thought about it.
Um,
I thought about it, but I couldn't find the sort of officer shirt that's sort of a greenish color that Kirk wore. Like
I don't remember that. I have the gold one.
it's not in a lot of episodes, but it's kind of got that fold, like almost like a double-breasted, sort of weird.
It's
Yeah,
like
I
a.
don't.
It was like a lime green,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
But-
more
but
maybe
people couldn't.
avocado. But
Yeah, people couldn't really tell. So they switched it to like yellow.
I have the yellow one that has the symbol on it, so it's not a communicator that you hit and go. Beep. It's just on it, and it's got the stripes on the sleeve for rank. And I actually wore it to my doctor's office, and he's a retired Navy lieutenant commander. So when I sat down, and he's like, "Oh, look, I like your shirt," and I said, "Yeah, I think I outrank you." And he counted the stripes. He's like, "No, you're a lieutenant commander like I am." I said, "That may be so, but I'm a line officer and I'm captain of a ship." And he was like, "You're right. You outrank me." because
Hey, Hunk.
if it doesn't matter what your rank is, if you're in charge of a ship, you're captain.
Yeah.
Even if your rank is something else. So, like if an admiral is in charge of a nuclear aircraft carrier, he's the captain of that ship, even though he's an admiral. You probably would call him admiral, but maybe you'd call him captain.
And line officers always outrank non-line officers.
And line officers always outrank anyone.
There was a scene.
If they're the same rank.
There's a scene in DS9 where a lieutenant was taking charge of the Defiant, and they had Nog, who was an ensign, and he called her lieutenant, and they corrected him. It's like, "No, I'm in command of the ship. I am now captain. I'm considered. You call me captain." It's like, "Oh." So he's like, he gets this starry-eyed look on his face, and he's like, "So if I became command of the ship, I would be called captain too." He's like, "Yeah, but at that point, I think the war would be lost."
A rule in the Navy is there can only ever be one captain on a ship. So if the captain, and even if the captain is, say, like a lieutenant, and there's another captain on the ship, that captain will automatically be referred to as Commodore.
Yeah, they have the Navy of all of the branches of the military has the wildest rules. Like, because of all, Navy tradition. And I am learning them because of, like you guys already know, my nephew being a submariner.
Atlantean?
And no, submariner as in he's the officer in charge of the nuclear reactor of a submarine. I know.
Oh, that's
so at his wedding, I was bullshitting around with these dudes, and every one of them an officer, and one of them who gave me a hug was a lieutenant commander. And they were all submariners, so they all had the submarine pin on their chest.
Well,
and I told him, I said, I'll be honest, I feel a little weird. And he's like, why? And I said, because I was enlisted. I was E4 Mafia, but I'm standing in this crowd. Granted, one of them's my nephew, but they're all in their dress white officers with their stripes and shit. And I'm just like, it was kind of weird, and then the father-in-law of the bride was a chief warrant officer 4, which, you never see them. 25 years in the Army. You had 3 different jump pins, like an American one, a British one, and a Jordanian one. So he'd went to jump school in 3 different countries. I mean, he had like, his whole chest was just full of medals.
Well,
I was
it kind of makes sense if you think about it. Our Navy traditions had a lot of completely different obstacles because of the environment, the terrain, if you will, that they had to adhere to. At any minute you could drown. Versus
Right.
all the other armed forces except Coast Guard and now Space Force. They were always on terra firma. They didn't have those worries, and when you're also isolated, hundreds if not thousands of miles from any dry land and fresh water and all those things, they probably had to develop those out of necessity.
I think on his ship, well, they don't call it a ship, they call it
Yeah.
a boat.
I-
They have a desalinizer. So it actually takes in seawater and takes all the salt out of it.
Yeah, we
I mean, it's not perfect, but that's what they
right,
do.
and
There's-
it's really weird. We have the technology, and we've had the technology almost all of my life to do it pretty easily. We just lie and say it's not. I mean, you could do it with a couple of glass bottles and a fire, for Christ's sake.
Right.
There's this guy. There's
But
this
anyway.
guy. He joined the Navy and he became career Navy. And he met a woman, married. They had a daughter, and he was very close. And his daughter would always refer to him as boats. It's like, hey, my daddy. No, dear, it's ships. These are ships. And at a certain point, she knew. I mean, her father career Navy. She knew she would just call them boats to just kind of poke the bear, and then lo and behold, she met a guy who, surprise, surprise, career Navy, and he started going up through the ranks, and he became captain of a submarine. So
So he was actually captain of the boat.
So she's like, she's ecstatic. She's happy for him. His career's moving up. And so what's the name of the ship that you're captain of? Boats, dear. Boats. Submarines are called boats. After all those years.
Full circle, right? Well, like I need to post on the Fat Electrician and let him know that Bradleys are not tanks.
What are they?
They're IFBs.
Armored personnel carriers.
Well, actually, the F stands for fighting.
Yeah.
So armored fighting vehicle.
AFV.
And I is infantry fighting.
Okay.
Vehicle.
Okay.
They're angry. So they are not tanks. They're infantry fighting vehicles. But for some reason, some people get it into their heads that Bradleys are tanks. It's like they're not tanks.
Well, I'm not.
They're not used like tanks. They're not tanks. I was on one for years and years. So, they're not tanks. I reject your bullshit.
See, here's the thing. I'm not military. I call it a tank. Oh, you were in the military? You drove, operated, you were in one of those things? Oh, you know what you're talking about. You say they're not tanks? I'm not going to argue with you. They're not tanks. Okay. What do I do?
Okay, you know what tanks America has?
The Abrams. Yeah.
And that's it. That's it. No other tanks. We have the
You don't need.
Well, you don't
Every
really
other
need
tank.
any others.
The last tank to leave service back in the 80s was the M60 Starships. And they were the last. Now all we got is Abrams. We tried to make a new tank, but we couldn't make one better than the one we already had. So they just upgraded the Abrams a little bit. I'll tell you what, there's a video you can watch, and it's kind of crazy. Apparently these guys had good training. 2 Ukrainian M1A1s versus a whole Russian infantry battalion. And it did not go great for the Russians in that particular instance because they had nothing that could take out that M1. They did capture an M1 tank, but they had to shoot it like 3 times in the back to knock the engine out. Still didn't kill the crew, though. I mean, that's how badass they are, you know? When I was in Iraq, we had M1s attached to us, and one of them got shot 3 or 4 times off the front slope of the turret by some Russian tank, like a T-55 probably. I don't know what. It tucked the paint off and gave the guys in the turret a little bit of ringing in the ears. Didn't go through it at all. And they of course neutralized their targets. So
All right, well, guys, I'm gonna bounce out and get something to eat.
Take care, Hungar.
All right.
which is a nice way of saying they killed the enemy tanks. They just forget. And Russian tanks are crazy because when you hit them, the turrets will fly 30 yards away
All right, love you, brother.
because they're not actually attached to the bodies. So if you hit a Russian T-72 midway in the body with, say, a TOW-2 missile, which is what Bradleys carry, at 2,000 meters, when that missile goes through, the turret will pop off like the cork of a freaking champagne bottle, and fly through the air, and then land like away. They do that because if you get a ruined turret on a Russian tank, they can just pull the crane vehicle up and hook onto all of the Russian tanks have like a attachment point, and hook on and pull that turret right off, set it aside, and if they have a good turret, they can just drop it right onto the body and it's ready to go.
All right, brother, I'm out of here. Love you.
See ya, Hungar.
See you tomorrow, Hungar.
See you.
The negative, of course, is if you catch a round in the body of the turret, you almost feel bad for the poor bastards.
Almost.
Yeah, not a little bit.
Yeah. I try not to think about what they did before they got drafted. Like, did I just murder a bunch of guys that used to work at a falafel stand? Like these guys were sheep herders, and then they got drafted, and then they met me, and that was the end of their story.
Heavy weapons.
Not that I hated it.
Heavy weapons team. Here,
The ones
you
I
carry the.
hated actually were the Saudi Arabians. I hated the Saudis. Every Saudi I met, I thought I should kill. Hated them. I honestly thought we were fighting the wrong people for the longest time. Because all the Iraqi we captured were actually kind of cool, you know what I mean? But the Saudis were just dicks, and they own slaves and shit. And they treat you like shit because you're not them. You know what I mean? So it's like fuck these Arabs, Give a shit about these guys.
Nobody wants to talk to you.
But war's the way it is. It sucks.
Today's allies, tomorrow's enemy.
It does seem to be that way, doesn't it?
It's been that way since the dawn of time.
I think you're right. Anyway, I cut you a little short on what you're talking about, and I'm going to cut you much shorter, but the game you're talking about sounds actually really kind of cool.
It is.
And now I'm starting to think that you've told me about this game before.
I probably have. It's at one point before I actually started playing it, it was my favorite game that I've never played.
Well, what game is this? Because
Nightbane.
From Palladium. Okay, I know all about it. Yeah, it seems creepy and fun.
The avatar that you see there for me, that's my that's my Nightbane for my Friday night game. Is basically a ghillie. He's a guy. His Morphus is a ghillie suit. Shoots lasers out of his eyes, and I have a tech device on my arm. It registers radar, motion, magic, and radiation.
Ah, cool. So you're ready for about anything.
So basically your PKE meter.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it's come and each one of them has come, except for the radiation one. Haven't come across any radiation yet, but yeah, it's helped me track we got in a scuffle, and we had some police helicopters coming in, and I was tracking them with my radar. Just recently, we were underground. Motion detector helped us out there, and we had a mystical creature, some spellcaster, something, basically invaded our base, and so we had to we abandoned that.
This is the miniature my brother picked to represent his
Jack.
Jack Burton. Jack who?
You know, I was just watching a thing last night. I have to get Escape from New York back into my collection. Not Escape from California. That movie doesn't exist. But Escape from New York, I must have watched that movie 500 times growing up.
My name's Snake. You gotta smoke. That's like the whole movie. My name's Snake. Gotta smoke. That's like all he says.
There were, you know,
everywhere he goes, he's just like.
I was watching one of those, 20 things you didn't know about the movie, and I'm like, really? Are you sure? Because I know a lot about that movie, and sure enough, there was a bunch of crap I didn't know. Not 20, but maybe 5.
Huh. All I know is he had to go in there to rescue
The president.
the president or something.
Donald Pleasance, yeah.
And that's basically it. And at some point, they had turned that whole part of New York City into just a big prison.
Yeah, funny how art imitates life sometimes, huh?
Well, I mean, So, yeah.
Probably just a couple more years.
I don't know, though. I know you're saying you don't respect Escape from L.A., but in Escape from L.A., he, surfed.
I know. That was really dumb. And I used to surf, but that part was really dumb.
He also asked everybody for cigarettes.
Uh-huh. But it didn't have Adrienne
And he
Barbeau in
also-
it. And I can't remember who the lead female role was, but anything with Adrienne in it, I'm going to watch it. Just
Yep. He bummed smokes off of everyone and made sure everyone knew his name was Snake. Because that's what he does.
it was
Well, it
Russell's
seems
idea.
to me. It
Did you
seems
know-
to me that
Go ahead.
Escape from LA was just like, well, Escape from New York did so well. Let's just do the same thing, except we'll find another city.
It was like
Yeah.
15
That's
years
pretty much
later, though. I mean, they could have done that right away. I think it was more like, we're having an anniversary or something. But I didn't know that it was Kurt Russell's idea for the eye patch. I'm like, that's like one of the last things I would think of. Yeah, my character needs an eye patch. Let's make my job, 50% harder and just, take away my depth perception while I'm handling guns with blanks and shit.
But
Hey, I don't think you
but
understand.
it made him look badass.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Look,
The eye patch made him look
80s
badass.
action movies was not about realism or anything. It was about what looked badass.
Right?
And it was.
So if you got a guy holding the M60 with one hand and the ammo wrapped around the other, and he's pops out of it looks badass.
Yeah.
Anybody that knows anything about weapons is saying, yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Just like you grab a grenade and you pull the pin with your teeth and you
What's
throw
up,
it.
Bruce? Long time no see, man.
That's
Pull
not
your
going to
teeth
happen.
Yeah, you pull your teeth
Yeah,
out. It's actually hard to get. That's why they teach you to hold it like that to pull, because it's hard to get that.
yeah,
down. It's not easy.
exactly. Anybody who knows anything about it knows it's not,
Okay.
but it looks badass.
Well, I
So-
gotta wonder if
Well, here's the thing.
I gotta wonder if
I
during
think it started.
like WW2 that maybe it was a little easier.
No, they did a thing,
Sure.
Shadow, called John Wayning it.
Okay.
And what John Wayning it means is they took their Klein tool and they uncrimped because the pin goes through and then it's crimped open, right? They uncrimped it, so that was really easy to pull out. And then
The jumping can
the
opener?
golf, a guy, John Wayne, his hand grenades and had them hanging off the front of his LBE, and in the back of Bradley, it's shaky. The hand grenade said, boop, boom. So don't John Wayne your hand grenades.
No.
You'll end up killing, your whole dismount crew. And people don't like that.
Can't imagine why.
There's
But,
what?
yeah.
There's what? 7?
The M67 anti-personnel grenade, though, I mean, yeah, it takes a little bit of oomph to get that pin out. You're not just pulling that
Now,
pin
I could
out.
be wrong.
I think Bruce is in the chat.
Like, if you uncrimp it, then, no, it's Bear.
Oh, hey, what's up,
Come
Bear?
back, this ask what we
Hey, I thought you were done, man. What happened?
Hungar jumped on, and
Hawk
then
showed
I
up.
jumped on, then Shadow jumped on, and welcome back, Bear.
I've been saying goodbye for 30 minutes.
Yeah, seriously.
But I mean, that's kind of a southern thing anyway.
That's a Minnesota goodbye. Where's Hungar gone?
Hungar decided to go do something, but he was on for a while.
Oh, cool.
It's a good film, Bruce.
And he, so since Hungar jumped on, I couldn't immediately leave.
Nope.
But then Nerdy Ogre jumped on and started telling me about some game where, basically your characters get injured, but then they come back with superhero forms or something.
Well, no, it's not that.
More like
And then
demonic.
Shadow popped on to show off his Star Trek communicator, which was cool.
And some old school.
It's-
And I'm sitting here painting Emma Frost.
Hey, James, it's not that they get injured. It's that they wear it's their emotion. What brings up the strong emotion. So, like, if it was say Indiana
Their
Jones,
trauma becomes
right?
a new
If it
form.
was Indiana Jones, he would look like a snake. He'd have some sort of snake form because that's his trauma.
Yeah, it's some
So-
Palladium game that he
Nightbane.
plays. Nightbane, yeah. Which Hungar was making fun of, but I had to remind Hungar one of his favorite games is made by Palladium.
Yes, this is what you came back to.
Of course, it's not the Palladium rule set because one of Hungar's favorite games is Recon.
James and his 90-minute
Because,
goodbyes.
you know.
You can watch a Canon film faster than James will successfully leave a stream.
Well, I'm getting ready to hit it. I'm telling you right
Oh,
now.
that's fine.
But before I do, I'm going to show you a scantily clad miniature.
Emma Frost was always hot.
Emma Frost. Apparently, she was rich and spoiled and kind of a bitch.
Yeah, I would spell it with a C, but yeah.
He was the
That was kind
she's
of
the
her
white
thing,
queen
I
of the
guess. She
Hellfire
was
Club.
rich and spoiled.
Weren't those
And a
some of the
bitch.
best?
But
X-Men
anyway, I'm
movies
getting
there?
out here. My wife
What?
made me
I
cookies.
said, weren't those some of the best X-Men pre-Phoenix Saga?
Even post Phoenix Saga, there was good X-Men. The entire Claremont era was good.
No, I just meant the Hellfire Saga. I
The
love
Hellfire
that.
Club was good. Everything about that was good. It was all good, man. It was a great time
So,
for comics.
anyway, guys, now it's time to go.
Okay, bye.
So
I'm glad
long,
I came
farewell.
back
Thanks
for it.
for all the fish.